had a at least decent week. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. Um, Not gonna lie, we've had a, little bit of the end of summer, or I guess early fall sick or ick. The test says COVID, but as we all know, those tests aren't that reliable. My opinion, just a summer cold. Um, Everybody in the house getting the fall crud, I suppose, or back to school crud. The petri dish that is the public schools, guys. The petri dish that is public schools. Those little heathens with their sticky fingers and their dirty hands. Yes, I'm blaming the children. That's the moral of the story here. But anyways, like I was saying, it's been an interesting week. Been an interesting week. No shortage of news topics. Um, we've got a few topics today. Gonna make sure everything is going smoothly on Rumble real quick. And I do have a list of things that I wanted to do today. The first thing might not end up happening because CNN is being downright twatty. They might have gone ahead and posted the full interview. That's what I wanted to start off with, anyways. Wanted to start off doing. All right, we're good to go. Good to go. All right. See, we got some people in the chat, at least on the app here. Huh. Good deal. Well, at least you see my comment there. Hey. Yeah, hand sanitizer. Yanny fangs. That is a. I mean, there are desperate times. Desperate times call for desperate measures. They do. But all right, just had to make sure that everything was going smoothly over there on Rumble. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. Oh, I finally added some emotes. Finally did. Added some emotes. So for subscribers, and it's $5 a month to subscribe to the channel. There are 12 subscriber exclusive emotes that you can use. For everybody else, there are, I think, 8. I think 6 or 8, something like that. I was adding some anyways. I wanted to find a dark, like a black bulldozer, because last stream I had a few moments where I got a little bit on the dark side of things, and I just thought that would be a good little thing to have, maybe like a black bulldozer or something for whenever I have a particularly dark take on something. I was a little bit sick last stream, so I do apologize for the energy maybe being a little bit off. I feel much better today. It's been a week. Still got a little bit of crud. I'm coughing up here and there, so I do apologize, and I will try to do my best to mute really quick before I start sneezing or coughing. Oh, yes, I will not be streaming for 3 hours today. That is a for sure. The boy, he's 18 months old now, I think. March, April, May. Yeah, no, 17 months. He's 17 and a half months old now. He's had a fever and stuff and been snotty and coughing and all that good stuff. So, yeah, the lady dozer had to wake up with him this morning. Well, she woke up at 3:30 for some reason, couldn't go back to sleep, and then he wakes up feeling cruddy. But yep, she's been doing a real good job helping keep him happy. So yeah, she's gonna be needing to go to bed a little bit sooner tonight. So I actually got to move the octopus off the bed back there. I did not put that octopus there, by the way. That was the woman. Yeah, builds character. That's right. That's right. Hell, if it was COVID, honestly, I don't know if it was COVID or not. It felt like a summer cold to me. I always get a summer cold, and especially when the kids going back to school, there's going to be illnesses running through the house and viruses and stuff like that. One of my kids had stomach troubles one day, and then I had the just feeling like crap and coughing and stuff like that and sneezing, and then me and the boy are the only ones that tested positive, quote unquote positive for COVID. I did want him to get tested for multiple things, but I guess, probably would have bugged him. Probably having multiple Q-tips shoved up his nose, I suppose. But yeah, apparently it's the Rona, COVIDs, as some may call it. But yeah, I think we're pretty much at the tail end of it. Mostly just getting our immune systems reintroduced to all of the different bugs and stuff that come from being around a bunch of people. That's probably what it is. That's what I'm going to chalk it up to anyways. It did get me out of ripping down a chimney last Saturday, but, that also, you make a little extra money on the side ripping chimneys down. So, yeah, I didn't get to go do that last year. What's up, Temple's Gay Music? The monkeypox. The monkeypox, um, I think I've pretty much gotten over the bumps and stuff like that. I just took all of the pustules and I went to the Democrat headquarters here in my county, and I just rubbed all the bumps, all the pustules up against their door handles and stuff like that. So I did my job, and I think I did something good for the world. Temple's Gay Music. That was the goal. That was the goal, and I think I spread something positive. Yeah. So, all right, I see we do have some people trickling in here, getting our pleasantries out of the way. The first topic that we do that I was planning on covering um, was the interview, the historic. There, did you have strep? Pulled McGroin. They I think they tested my 9-year-old for strep and it was negative. She's just got allergies and she just likes to try to stay home. She's a little bit of a hypochondriac at times, I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, we just give her some allergy medicine and she'll be all right. And it's crazy. The kids are acting sick, right? And then, hey, you want to get the water slide out? And I get the inflatable water slide out, and my 9-year-old was going ham, absolutely ham, and the 6-year-old too, for about 2 hours straight. And then as we're putting them to bed, I don't feel good. It's like, yeah, you just played your butt off for 2 hours straight. Of course, you don't feel very good right now. You're tired and you need sleep, young lady. So, yeah, yeah. We'll see, I guess, how she feels in the morning. If she wakes up coughing and sounding horrible, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to go get her something. I don't know. But regardless, I'm on the upswing, y'all. Still feel a little bit dizzy here and there, but like I said, we're in an area where they farm and stuff like that. So the cornfields have turned, and a lot of farmers are already cutting corn. They're out there combining, and that puts a lot of dust in the air. Plus all the this. I'm not going to say the chemtrails in the air, but it could be some of the chemtrails in the air. Who knows? Who knows? Seems like certain times a year that they get a little bit more prevalent. I don't know. I don't know. Something interesting. No, no, it was probably just the COVID or the monkeypox there pulled my groin. I don't think it was strep. No, no, a couple of us tested positive for COVID. Whether or not it's actually that or just a summer cold or beginning of fall cold slash flu, whatever you call it. What I did. This is what I did last time I had COVID, quote unquote. I just went out and laid on my back porch in the sun and just soaked up the sun. What's up, getting her done? Glad to see you. Been a while. Been a while. Thank you to everybody who has joined the stream. We are going to be going for about 2 hours tonight. Can't do 3 hours tonight. I know I say that every time, but I mean it this time, y'all. We're not going for 3 hours. Got to get my wife some sleep. She's been really working her butt off with the sick kids. So, and I assist as well. I assist as well. It's not just all on her, but Lady Dozer does a whole lot. So I appreciate the heck out of her. um, Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yanny Fangs, I completely agree. And if you guys are on, I don't think you can use the emotes. Hey, glad to see you back, Ginner done. Glad you're back on the grid. But real quick before I read this, I did add emotes. So if you're on browser or I guess on the computer, you can use the emotes. I don't think you're able to use them in the Rumble app yet, which would be a nice little feature if they would actually do that. And if you can, I just don't know. So, but I did add. I think there's 8 follower emotes, and then there's just basic the emotes for the channel, and then I've got 12 subscriber only emotes. So I've been adding to the catalog for the subscriber only emotes. If you do want to support the channel in a small way, it's $5 a month to subscribe. You get your name highlighted in a beautiful red haze, so it sticks out like a lovely infected thumb. A good infection, an infection of positivity and things to come, unburdened by what has been. No, but yeah, I think it's a, you're helping a small creator and you're helping support Rumble as well with a subscription. If you don't want to do that, you can always send a Rumble rant if you want me to pay attention to your comment. If you have a suggestion for something to view with the audience, we can do that. And I honestly just sometimes when the chat gets kicking, I can't watch everything. So, um, yeah, Yanni Fangs, I appreciate you, bud. He said he doesn't know a damn thing about no emotes. Well, they're there. Oh man. But no, Yanni Feng says, as a not doctor, kids got resistance to antibodies and such. They'll be fine if they're healthy. Yeah, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. They just like to get the attention sometimes and be, get coddled and stuff sometimes. It's typical. It's typical. It's understandable. So the first thing, if I can find it by the time we get done with our little introductory spiel here, I like that one getting her done. I think that's just one of the base ones from Rumble. Doing the yeah, there you go. I don't know what that dance is called. Is that the floss? I think it is. I'm not sure. But anyways, so the first thing that we're probably going to be doing today, if I can find it, and if we can't find the whole thing, then I'll just find some of the highlights or some of the clips from the interview. Um, Apparently, CNN was calling it live, but this interview was pre-recorded, y'all. It was pre-recorded, and apparently, I read 18 minutes. Somebody said they stretched it out to an hour, and then they took 18 minutes. Of the best, I suppose. Uh, Yanni Fangs, yes, it's the floss. See, I'm cultured. Nice, nice. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Oh, you got the Pikachu. There you go. You guys found some of the emotes. There you go. Temple's game music. Added shocked Pikachu. There we go. Nice. I'm glad it worked. I wasn't 100% sure that it was going to work, but why is the commie bunny in the background fading in and out? Let me look and see. All right, it's not doing it on the stream, so we're good. I'm looking at it from Rumble Studio, the pink commie bunny from my previous intro video. It's I put the pink commie bunny there. Somebody asked why I gave it a good swift front thrust kick in our previous intro or a placeholder video, and it's because it's a commie. He's a communist bunny, and you have to kick communists. They are not people, especially if they're pink bunnies. And I decided to put the pink bunny over there hanging because you know what? Communism is always in the background waiting for its chance to pounce. And if you don't watch it, it will get you. But if you guys cannot tell, I have a house full of children and girls, and so we have stuffed animals and we have squishmallows, and yeah, they're cool. They do their thing. Let's see, what's she going to do? Tape her conversations to Putin? I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find the whole interview. I've seen it in places. Hey, we got a viewer over on YouTube. Thank you so much to the one lone individual on YouTube. I need to check my X folks because we do actually have people that watch on X, believe it or not. Let me check it out real quick here. And I should probably pin this to the top of my X feed, shouldn't I? We are at, by the way, if you haven't checked out my X channel, at BillDozer74 __, give it a look. I've got 1,348 followers there, and yeah, things are they seem to be getting a little bit better follower wise over on X. I noticed for the longest that it would I would end up gaining 10 or 15 and then losing 5 to 10. And it was just kind of interesting. Hey, we got 22 people watching over there on X. Thank you guys so much for watching over there. I'm going to pin that to the profile. I'm not sure how to... let me see really quick here. All right. Okay, so I've got it open there, and I will try to keep an eye on the live chat over on X. I see we've got 22 people watching, so I'll be trying to keep an eye on that. I've got it open on my phone. I guess I could have it in the background on another page here. But anyways, I appreciate anybody who chooses to take time out of their evening to hang out and watch this show. If you have not followed the channel yet, Bulldozer74 here on Rumble. I stream Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Central. Usually go for about 2.5 to 3 hours. Today we're going to keep it to about 2 hours. Um, and the main purpose of this show is to inform and hopefully do it in an entertaining way. That's the main thing. I want to inform and entertain. I really care about these things. I'm passionate about a lot of topics. Some people say too passionate. I may have a little bit of a rant muscle that I'll flex every now and then, and um, it's a bit cathartic, a little bit of a cathartic release at times. So yeah, yeah, it seems to go pretty well. See, Rumble's more fun and personal than X for live stream. Yep. Um, yep. I like that. I guess you're saying Rumble is more fun and personal than X for the live stream, but both are like Tony the Tiger's favorite cereal. So would you say they're great? I was seeing. I watched a little clip. I think it was a Frosted Flakes commercial. It had um, all of the commercials from like the '60s to current, and it was just kind of cool to see the change in animation. And I think the voice actor changed a couple times. It might have been the same. Who knows? But yeah, I like the Rumble live chat. I think it works pretty well. But let me post that real quick. There we go. Good deal. So if I can find the full interview, which I think I might have tracked it down, took CNN a minute to put it up. I hope they put the full interview up and it's not just someone reacting to um, her dismissal of Trump's discussion of race. That was so reading through. I haven't watched the interview yet because I was going to try to watch the whole thing with y'all and do a live react to it. First, with fresh eyes. But I did read some of the answers that she had to some actually fairly decent questions from Dana Bash from CNN. I um, was a little bit surprised to see that, but I think that whoever bought CNN is a little bit more moderate and might actually be trying to rebrand CNN as actual news again. I think that's the goal. I think that's what they're doing. And you got a long way to go. You're going to have to do a lot to change the preconceived notions. Temple's Game Music says I won't make it through the so apparently I won't make it through without breaking shit, huh? So you're saying I might end up in a rant just a little bit from some of the from some of the and I did see a lot of people were saying that they weren't going to post the full transcript of the interview. But then when you look on CNN, they have something that they're calling the full transcript. And I wonder, is it the full transcript of the part they released? Or is it the full transcript of the entire interview before the cuts? That's I mean, that kind of matters, doesn't it? I would think. Um, I don't know. Oh, so pulled McGroin, you've yet to create an X account. Rumble keeps me spending way too much. It can. I'm not gonna lie. X is very addictive. It is very addictive, but it's very informative. So, like, I'm constantly getting updates on what's going on in the world, and on a national level. So I like it for that. But it can be addictive. So sometimes you just got to put the damn phone down, close out of the app, and go touch some grass. That is very beneficial. Ah, thank you very much, getting her done. You followed me over there on X. Much appreciated. Getting her done. Anna Blue Eyes. Well, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate the follow. It at some point, I mean, I think you have to hit 5 million impressions in 3 months. And last I checked my analytics, I had like 3 million impressions in 3 months. So just a couple more to go, right? Small potatoes. And eventually, hey, it'd be nice to monetize, get a little couple bucks a month or something like that from X. That'd be kind of cool. I appreciate that though. Pulled McGroin. Yes, that is a very good point. I also do not trust much of what CNN says. And used to with CNN, you used to be able to go and actually read the articles, and at least the news articles, like just straight up called news. That was their category. Those actually were kind of decent. I mean, they had a slant, but they mostly got the facts out there. If you watch their content as far as like their personalities, it is just straight garbage most of the time. So, it is what it is in that aspect. But you know, it comes and goes with CNN, and with somebody with new leadership or new ownership trying to rebrand and trying to get something going, that resembles unbiased coverage. I mean, maybe if they put out decent content, I'm gonna check it out. But there's not much going on with CNN that I really want to look into. At least they don't have Don Lemon anymore. That's a plus for them. Good job getting rid of that guy. Still got Caitlin Collins. She's not. I wouldn't call her objective, um, but I just want news people to do news. Just report objectively on the information. I mean, I when I provide information, you can usually tell I'm providing the information. I'll add my analysis of that information for sure, and I'll commentate, and you can clearly tell when I'm commentating because I usually get emotional or I get a little bit vulgar at times. So for those of you with virgin ears, I apologize. There might be some wordy dirds every now and then. But anyways, the first topic, we're going to be talking Kamala Harris interview and try to watch some of it. If I can find the whole thing, we're going to play it. If not, I'll find a clip or two and then we'll react. After we get done with that, we are going to go ahead and I actually do have this. It's about an 8 or 9 minute clip from Louder with Crowder, Mud Club, undercover journalism group that they have. They've implemented since getting enough funding through Mud Club. They have been actually they infiltrated the UN, and I mean, surprise, surprise, the UN is globalist. That we kind of knew, but the extent to which they are terrified of a nationalist perspective from this country and a potential second official second Trump presidency, they're terrified of this because it threatens the one world government. I mean, that's the closest thing we have to it is the UN. And a second Trump presidency absolutely does threaten it. The America First agenda, a nationalist perspective across nations. You should the leaders should be looking out for their country first and then others. I don't understand when that became controversial. I don't understand why that is a bad thing or something that you should be, um, you should feel icky about. It's you can have care and concern for other countries for sure, but you got to take care of your own country first. So it's no surprise to me that a stooge from the UN is very candid in his terror at the idea of a second Trump term. It's no surprise to me. But we are going to watch through that, talk about it a little bit. And then we are going to, speaking of the one world government, the one world government tends to want to replace native populations. And in this country, we have a significant example of that with the Aurora, Colorado. I think it's TRDA. I'm not sure what it's called specifically, but yeah, Venezuelan gangs in Colorado are just going through apartment complexes and taking them over. Um, just going in with their ARs, knocking on doors, telling people how it's going to be. Um, that is I mean, that is a step towards third world America, y'all. There are parts of this country. You look at some of the places in California, some in Colorado, some in Oregon. There are some places in this country that are essentially, I mean, they're in a third world state, and it's a shame. It is definitely a shame, but you've got to acknowledge it, and you can't act like it's not happening. You can't just put your head in the sand and say, "No, it's okay. It's okay. Those are just misunderstood migrants." Trebuchets, guys. Trebuchets at the border. That's what we need. Or catapults. Very similar. Very similar. They get about the same job done. Trebuchet's got a little bit extra momentum with a little flip there. Yeah, we could put mattresses on the other side of the Rio Grande, right? That'd be all right. I got Yanni Fangs here. Said I doubted Alex Jones when he said said when he said we still have a chance against them. I was super encouraged hearing. ah, man, yeah. Well, apparently it's not. There are some that are acting like Harry says, and I don't consider him a legitimate voice in this matter. Apparently, the dude wasn't even born in this country. I don't know if his parents are American or not, but if he's not even an American or like, can he even vote? I don't know. Honestly, don't care about that much about the dude to do more research into him. But if he isn't even an American, isn't that kind of like election interference or something to have somebody that they're paying literally to just gobble on the genitals of the current administration? Like, good lord. Forgot human cannons. Oh, wait, like you talking about like at the old the circuses shooting a guy out of a cannon? That might be a little harsh. Might be a little harsh, pulled McGroin. By the way, pulled McGroin, I hope your groin is better. I think I remember you saying that you actually had pulled your groin recently, which is not a fun injury. I can relate to that. Not fun. Not fun at all. But after we get done talking about the Colorado state of decay with the gangs there, we are going to discuss the left's response to something so positive, but they can't freaking help themselves. Glad to hear your groin's better, pulled McGroin. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm sure there are people here that thought about your groin over the last week and were just wondering about your groin. So Trump was asked by some families from some military families to lay wreaths or and to take some pictures at Arlington National Cemetery. He was asked by the family to do this. The left is so freaking mad. They are so absorbed and filled with hatred for the Orange Man that they talked about freaking prosecuting him for being there with cameras. Oh, he broke federal law. He broke federal. The families. Why do y'all hate military families so much, huh? These military families asked for Trump to be there. They asked for him to lay the wreaths. They asked to take some pictures with Trump. And you want to prosecute him for that. We had a superseding indictment from Jack Smith against Trump about the same stuff that the Supreme Court said he had immunity for. And they just don't stop. I don't know at what point, like these grand juries, how do these grand juries get away with calling them? And I know with a grand jury, the lawyer thing to say is you can indict a ham sandwich, but good God, when does it stop? That's my question. When is it going to stop? I don't think it's going to. So people act like, oh, well, if he just went away, it'd be fine and they'd leave him alone. I don't think so, guys. I think they're out for blood and I think they want their freaking pound of flesh. They're not going to stop. You see it in some cases where they execute lawfare against somebody and they push and push and push until somebody just goes ahead and drops out or resigns or quits or whatever. And then they stop too. We had that similar situation with Eric Greitens here in Missouri. A lot of people liked Greitens, and then some blackmail came out, and then some spurious accusations and salacious details and all the stuff. And I think it's Kim Gardner up in St. Louis, which I'm fairly sure she was either getting prosecuted for unethical dealings or just straight up breaking the law, like withholding evidence. So unethical, breaking the law, same thing. They as soon as he resigned, they dropped their cases, and that is no clearer a sign that it was politically motivated than you can get. I mean, it's the clearest example of political prosecution. That when he goes ahead and resigns, when he stops, when he drops out, he's gone, he's done, and then all of a sudden the cases drop too. Complete political persecution, and it needs to be called out. And it ended up being called out. And like I said, I think Kim Gardner, I haven't paid attention to it in a while, but I think she ended up facing some type of consequences from that. At least I hope she did. She deserved it. But all right. What's up, Squall Rush? Nice to see you. If you guys have not liked the stream yet, take a moment and smash that like button. Caress that like button. whisper sweet nothings into its ear and give it a little tap, a little kiss, a little peck on the cheek, nibble its ear. And, that's Joe Biden. But, if you want to, the like button would appreciate it. It just wants some attention, guys. Give that like button some attention. If you have not followed this channel, to all the people that do watch after this, because we do get quite a few people, quite a few views on these videos. If you're watching after the live, um, yeah, that's right. Hit that like button. I forgot to do the little ticker today. My bad. And the follow button. Yes, absolutely, Squall Rush. Ooh, and comment. Following along here, following along. All the things, guys. Uh, Yanni Fangs said, I lost sleep over pulled McGroin's pulled groin. Glad it's getting better. Let's consider a preemptive counter tactic of going door to door with a smile and asking if your neighbors agree with protecting the U.S. Interesting. Interesting. Is that associated with the groin or something completely different thought there, Yanni Fangs? I have just been having conversations with people, and I will probably go ahead and stop by my local Republican office to see if they need any volunteers to do something. It actually has people stationed at it now, which they didn't have back in the last primary, but saw them at the fair and they talked and I gave, exchanged emails, but never heard back from the guy. So we'll see if we can get a ground game here in this county. My county where I live is going to be solid Trump. But guess what? You don't get complacent. That's one thing that I'm seeing from people talking. And I am honestly, guys, before we get, into the full thing, swing of things here, I'm honestly super stoked. I'm seeing some stuff that is inspiring me from the Trump campaign, getting RFK Jr. on, getting Tulsi Gabbard on. Two great gets. Those are people, and he's made them part of the transition team too. That is amazing. That is a sign that he learned something from the last administration. He learned something. Okay. All right. It was a separate previous thought. Yeah. Yeah. I think going around door to door and stuff, I mean, that definitely can be a good thing. You could face some angry folks. Definitely could face some angry folks. It's crazy. The only this is before Walz was on there. The only Harris sign that I've seen happened to be in a very affluent neighborhood when I was delivering DoorDash, and they had the solar panels on their house and very, very fancy house. And I'm just like, makes sense. The Democrat Party's become the party of the elites, y'all. It's not the party of the working man anymore. It's crazy to see the flip. The Republican Party, and I'm an independent. I am. So it seems like the Republican Party is moving towards a shift towards more independent focus. I like to call it the Lion Party. So, hey, what's up, Jacob Castro? Nice to see ya. What's up, savages? Multitasking. You'll be in and out. Ooh, sounds nice. Hope you're gentle. All right. Real quick, guys, before we get into our first topic, if I do in fact find the interview, I'm gonna good lord, gonna do an ad read real quick for a Rumble Premium. If it works, click. I'll just narrate like a boomer here. So, guys, support a free speech platform like Rumble. Rumble Premium. This show brought to you by Rumble Premium. When Rumble first started in 2013. By the way, 2013. A lot of people think Rumble just popped up in 2020 or 2019. I've known about Rumble for longer, not since 2013, but I did know about it before then. And I was here since the early days of Rumble, when we still had the plussy, the lovely plussy. You could smash the plussy. It was wonderful. And then they replaced it with a thumbs up, which is good. Still smashable. So when Rumble first started in 2013, they built the platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID, but they did. Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris administration. All Zuckerberg. Rumble, on the other hand, did not. because they care about free speech. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked by governments like France and Brazil. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight, and if you have the means, that's important. Don't put yourself out for this. If you've got the extra, it's worth it, in my opinion. One major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. Join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com/premium and use promo code STUDIO. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy if you watch us on Rumble. Abso-freaking-lutely. If you don't have it, don't put yourself out. But if you got a little extra and you want to go ahead and get Rumble Premium, I think it is worth supporting the free speech platform. It's looking like it's getting bigger, guys. It's looking like it's getting bigger. I see positive things on the horizon for this platform. Don't really, and they've got their own cloud structure. They've got their own servers, so they can't really be canceled necessarily. Now, the app could be taken off the App Store if they wanted to. If they wanted to, pull a parlor on Rumble, they could. Hopefully, it doesn't happen. But it's crazy how they use the excuse of January 6th. Excuse me, certification day 2021. But hey, look at that. Solid, solid. Hey, there we go. We got a little testimonial here from Yanni Fangs. Joined Rumble Premium. It took a minute and a few restarts to kick in, but now it works. It works. It's pretty nice. Well, there you go. Take it from Yanni Fangs. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let me look and see really quick, guys. So we're going to talk about our last two topics, the little side end of the stream topics. I like to end on a if first of all, if you're just joining, thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that like button, follow the channel if you haven't followed yet. To all the people watching afterwards that aren't here on live, because I know that there are other shows on, and I appreciate anybody who wants to take time out of their day to watch the content that I'm putting out here. Like I said, my goal is to inform and entertain, and I really appreciate anybody who does watch. If you're not watching live, I appreciate you too. And if you haven't created a Rumble account yet, it takes a couple minutes. Just, no harm, real easy stuff. Trust me, it won't be that hard. It is worth it to show your support for a free speech platform, and you can actually participate in the chat and comment and stuff like that if you actually create an account. So go ahead and create an account. Heck, my wife, Lady Dozer, she went ahead and did it too, just to show that, she could pop in every now and then here in the chat. Excuse me. All right, let me see here. I think it's worth doing. I think it's worth doing. So, all right. There you go. Look at that. We got people tearing it up. Look at here. We got Tim Pulls Game Music. Look at this. You get a glorious green check mark if you get Rumble Premium, guys. You're gonna stick out. You're gonna stick out like a green thumb, not the red image that I gave you earlier. So yeah. There you go. Yeah, there are some good aspects to Rumble Premium, even with mobile too. So some good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys. The last two topics, the happy topics. Again, if you are new to the stream, new to this show, what I like to do is 3 to 4 news stories. We talk about the ins and outs of that, go over the information. I'll give my perspective, and then the last topic or two topics, like I've done the past couple streams, will either be something like that I find interesting, kind of sciencey. That's what we've got today, and then something just kind of a good, kind of just a feel good kind of thing. I got a couple of those lined up. Just a kind of a palate cleanser at the end, because when you get deep into the minutia of everything that's going on, sometimes it can get a little bit dark. So I think it's a good idea to add a little bit of levity to it at the end. So that's the goal anyways. That's the goal. I do have some sites that I've been trying to look through, you guys would not believe how hard it is to actually find good news on the internet. You type in good recent good news or happy news, happy stories, stuff like that. You get stuff from like 10, 15 years ago sometimes. But just happy news apparently doesn't sell. And that's a sad statement. It is a sad statement. But who wants to hear about, oh, everything went well today? All the planes flew just fine. The pilots weren't drunk. Nobody got a weird, you know, STD named after monkeys. People don't want to hear about that apparently. But I think more people do. I think it's a good idea to talk about those nice things and those positive things in the world every now and then. So that's the goal at the end of my streams. Try to do something interesting or positive, which I think the interesting sciencey thing that we've got. It's actually something that was posted by Ashton Forbes. If you guys didn't watch the interview with on Viva Fry's channel with Ashton Forbes, and he's the one that was has put a spotlight on MH370. Now, if somebody could come out and disprove the things that he's saying, that would be interesting. But it seems like it's been a year and nobody has really done a good job of debunking what Ashton Forbes has been talking about as far as free energy, 0 point energy, wormholes. So Don Lemon might not have been that far off when it came to Malaysia Airlines MH370. It's interesting. Yeah. Fella saved a frozen deer from a river. Oh, excuse me. A deer from a frozen river. It's a deer sickle. Very high in protein. No, I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about that, Yanni Fangs. But it's probably a good story. Might have to check that out. That's a good story. But a deer will mess you up if you're not careful. Just keep that in mind. If you ever see a deer in need, or you think that's a nice, cutesy little woodland critter, a deer will fuck you up. It's not a nice little cutesy critter. They can be very violent. Saw this video of a guy that let his freaking little kid walk up to a deer, and the deer thumped the heck out of the kid. They have sharp hooves. Don't let your children walk up to wild animals, guys. I don't know who needs to hear this, but for the love of God. And also, don't let your kids walk up to livestock either, because livestock, they step on a child and it can be very, very bad. Very bad. Okay. Just a common video on YouTube. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, I saw a video recently of a little kid was the dad, like, I guess it was the dad, was like just commenting on it. And this little kid's just walking up to a cow and he's like, hey, he said he was going to jump on it and want to see how long he could ride it. And I gave him $20 to go actually do it. This kid's like 6 years old, 5 or 6 years old, going up to a cow. Cows are heavy. And I am one of those people who believes kids sometimes need to learn. And if they get hurt, there's a difference between hurt and injured. Okay. If a kid's going to get an owie and just be like, oh no, it hurt. Well, that's a lesson that you learned. I don't ever want to put my kid in a situation where they're going to get injured to learn that lesson though. So the bone breaks, they get their head crushed by a damn cow. No, I'm not going to do that. There's a difference. There's a line. You gotta know that damn line. And I think that fella might have been tipping him back and might have just could have really got his kid hurt. So I had an example from today. Telling my 2 girls, stop getting crazy on the water slide thing, the inflatable water slide. One person down at a time. Don't go chasing people up the water slide. When you're going to get hurt eventually if you keep it up. And I said my piece, gave them the warning, and I told my wife, I said, I'm like, hey, if they need to learn the hard way, they're going to learn the hard way. And sure enough, 20 minutes later, 6-year-old screaming and crying because she took a foot to the face. Well, were you doing what I told you not to do? Okay, then. You just learned a lesson. Does it hurt? Do you want that to happen again? No? Okay. Well, then maybe dad knows something, all right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh, I'm going to post in my locals chat later. By the way, I have a locals community, the dozerden.locals.com. I kind of just post what I find interesting there, and I post the links to my channels. And if I'm going on a stream with somebody, I try to remember to post to locals. I'm going to post. You got me thinking about the deer right there, harvesting and eating the food that you harvest. We actually had spaghetti squash, chicken spaghetti this evening for dinner. It was volunteer spaghetti squash. Uh, Ended up with 3 real good sized ones. There is still one on the vine, but I don't think it's going to really get the size that it needs to. It's kind of squanny. The other ones are large, and but yeah, we had low carb spaghetti. I guess chicken spaghetti for dinner. It was delicious. Lady Dozer did an excellent job preparing the squash and heating up the chicken in the sauce. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, it means something different. It means something different. I think it feels different. It tastes better. Hits your stomach better when you contributed to making the food. So like I spent the last month making sure to hit it with water it every day in the evening. Just something simple like that. Weed and taking the grass out from around it. Just something simple like that. Growing your own food. If you have livestock, chickens, stuff like that, deer. When you clean a deer and then you eat that deer, it just hits different in my opinion. So, well, guys, we're at like 45 minutes here. Introduction complete, plus random squirreling. I tend to squirrel at times. A little bit of squirreling. It's okay though. All right. Let's see if I actually have. Thank you. Thanks again, Rodon. I appreciate you. I try. I'm not a perfect dad. Nobody is, but hopefully I do okay. So I wish I could have trade him some datum for disum if you want him some gator. I don't know what that means, but oh, Yanni thinks you're in Florida. Nice, sweet. I want some gator. I had gator. I had some jambalaya with gator in it. It was pretty solid. I like gator. I've had snake. I've had gator. I've had possum. I've had raccoon. I don't like raccoon. I'll just say that barbecue raccoon tasted nasty. Not my cup of tea. If you like it, I'm not knocking it. Possum was meh. It was meh. Not my go-to. Just gonna be honest. But let me see here. Let me see, guys, if we've got this interview up and ready to go. Oh, that doesn't look like the interview. It's an ad. Okay. Maybe we actually have. It says Harris explains in exclusive CNN interview why she shifted her position on key issues since her first run for president. So this is probably a damn clip. A lot of what I saw from the reading of the interview, little text versions of the questions and answers, they didn't really do a good job of answering the questions, like at all. They pretty much skirted around them. And I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but let's go ahead, guys. Let's see if I actually found what I needed here. Probably just a clip, so I do apologize if it's not the full interview. If we got to just do it ragtag and find clips here and there and react to the clips, we'll do that for a couple minutes. But let's see. Let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit of share in here. Narrate it like a boomer, because that's what we do. Ooh, Stella Rosa. A little bit of wine. Oh, she's fallen and she can't get up. It's a Life Alert commercial. Oh. Got a little serious for a moment. Okay. That is too loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Okay, they're laughing. This is nice. Oh, Pfizer. It's a Pfizer commercial. It's a Pfizer commercial, y'all. Oh, aren't you so happy with Pfizer?
How should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed.
How have her values not changed? Because now she apparently supports the border wall, and apparently she wants to do the no tax on tips thing, which she stole from Trump. It seems like a shift to me.
And I've worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe.
How?
Around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, as an example. That value has not changed. My value around what we need to do to secure our border, that value has not changed. I spent 2 terms as the
okay, so just keep letting them in. Okay, well, glad you went ahead and stated that as a,
Attorney General of California, prosecuting transnational criminal organizations, violations of American laws regarding the illegal passage of guns, drugs, and human beings across our border. My values have not changed.
Okay, so that's
people always
interesting.
ask-
No, I'm not listening to you, Kevin Hart. Sell out. I mean, hey, he's making money though. Good for him. So that wasn't what I wanted. Let me see if I can find a longer clip here so we can do that little bit right there. I'm not going to lie. Very low substance in that little blurb, in my opinion. Stop this share here. Let me do a little bit of research on the fly here, y'all. Appreciate your patience. Let me see. Words without meaning, word salad. Yeah, she is I watched somebody pushing back on a Trump campaign official whenever they mentioned border czar, and they're like, well, she was never the border czar. You guys can't Jedi mind trick this shit away. You can't do that. People actually do have memories. And some of the people that are going to vote blue, no matter who, maybe they're, somewhat disabled. I don't know. Some of them sure seem like it. But yeah, words without meaning, aka word salad. She was the border czar, but is now saying the border needs closed. So you're responsible. You were the one in charge, and you let this shit happen. So apparently, it's just Temple's gay music. That's just a racist conspiracy theory. Kamala hasn't changed her position on anything. She's good at changing up positions in bed. Oh, it worked for Willie Brown apparently. Let me look here, guys. We'll try to find it. Go away. Let me do a little bit of refresh here. See if they've put up the full interview yet. Well, I'll be a sumbitch. Let me look here. They got shorts out and they're doing their YouTube thing. That's dirty, CNN. It's very annoying, not gonna lie. Let me see here. I don't want to watch analysis. I want to watch the actual video. maybe Willie Brown's standards should be in question here, Yanni Fangs. I agree. Let's look here. Get off of CNN's page there. Stop giving them clicks. Apparently, Walz was asked about his stolen valor issue and completely sidestepped the question. Hope you guys like that clacking noise. Why are you bringing me stuff from the 27th? 53 minutes. Okay. There's a little clip from 2 minutes. Okay. We got a little clip. This is what we're going to do. We're just going to find some clips here. And, oh, if you guys like the, I hope you guys liked the thumbnail. Walz was, why couldn't Kamala do this by herself? Why did she need her emotional support animal of Tim Walz right by her to be able to get this done? That interesting to anybody else? Why couldn't she have done this interview on her own? Why did she need her little hype man, her little emotional support animal, emotional support buddy, Walz? Yeah, I do like that thumbnail. That's a good one. She can't stand. I don't know how the debates are going to go, guys. I don't. They could go. She could come out and surprise the hell out of all of us. Who knows? The fact that Tulsi Gabbard is the one helping Trump with debate prep, though, ooh, buddy. After how she handled Harris and destroyed her aspirations for the presidential nomination back in 2020, that's a good one to have on your side, Trump. Tulsi Gabbard, my island queen. She's still being surveilled as a possible like terrorist or something. She's like on a watch list. When she flies, she has 3 or 4 feds following her apparently. Yeah. We completely live in a safe and free society, guys. Our government is not out to get private citizens, are they? Well, I mean, she's technically in the military still, so I mean, but she's still a citizen. They're watching, they're spying on American citizens because of their perspectives. We are not that far away from ending up in a situation like you see in the UK where people are being arrested for Facebook posts. We're not that far off. Hell, Douglas Mackey for freaking memes, guys. They're trying to put him in prison. I need to check up on that case. I think he was able to have a stay upon appeal so that he didn't have to go to prison. But I'm not 100% sure because that was ridiculous. He just memed. He was a meme smith. And they prosecuted him. And I think it was in New York. And you can't get a fair trial in New York if it's associated with anything against the left or slightly against the left. Not even 100% anti-left. Even somewhat. And they will rake you over the coals. Because that's what happens. Same thing in DC. None of those cases in DC are impartial as far as the judges and the juries are concerned. And you have a constitutional right to an impartial jury. You're not going to get that in DC. DC, in my opinion, doesn't need to have a judicial system. That needs to be, I guess, you would call it Virginia. Maybe Virginia would be the one to handle cases and stuff like that. I don't think DC needs to have its own thing. It's not a state. It's a district. So, exactly, pulled McGroin. I mean, France, they set that dude up. First of all, you had the honeypot with him going around posting all the geolocations with every little post she was making with this guy, the CEO of Telegram. I can't remember his name, Dubrov or something like that. Durov, I think it's Durov. Pavel Durov, I think is his name. Not 100% sure. Someone let me know in the chat. I think it's Durov, but I think he has French and Russian citizenship. He might be a dual citizen. But yeah, they did. They arrested him and they're charging him with everything that illegal that could have happened on Telegram because he wouldn't let them have a back door. That's the government, guys. They want to go in your back door of your platforms. It's the truth. It's the truth. And Telegram said no. And I would not doubt that our government was probably involved in that as well. You know, I would too. I guess the last good thing they did was give us the Statue of Liberty. Was that before the war that they helped? I mean, they helped us in the past. They've been really good friends in the past, but they sure did turn into something different. Yeah, I don't know. Make France great again? Mufga? I don't know. It'd be nice. It'd be nice for them to come back around, stand for some of their founding principles, or at least their historical principles. It would be. Yeah. And we helped them out too. They helped us out in the past. We helped them out, you know. Hey, we're up to 30 people watching. Guys, if you have not smashed that like button, please do so. If you have not followed the channel yet, I was up to 358 followers. And then I started losing a couple. I got down to 355, and I think I'm back up to 356. So I would hate for my placeholder video to not apply anymore. That would be a little bit sad. But we're at 350, and we're going strong, darn it. We're going to keep going up. We're going to get to 400, and then we're going to get to 500, and then 600. Yeah. old was that Harold Dean? Howard Dean. That's who that was. Oh, that was a glorious time in politics. That's when I was just getting engaged, really engaged. He was excited, y'all. And that tanked his chances. Let's see. I've got here a 2-minute clip. I really wish they would post the whole thing. Got a minute, got 2 minutes, got 7 minutes analysis. We might watch Jesse Waters just talk about it. Maybe. Okay, guys, there was I know y'all probably saw at the DNC, Walz giving his son, that little yank. I wasn't about to excoriate that dude for giving an assertive yank. It looked like he was about to hit the mic stand. If you guys thought that was abusive or indicative of abuse, you can think that. I don't think it was indicative of abuse. If you've got a child with developmental disabilities, and it looks like he's on the mid end of functioning, not high functioning maybe, but I also don't know this kid. So he's like 17 or 18. People were all freaked out about him giving the kid a little yank with the arm. I don't know. I don't want to attribute a whole bunch of malice that's not actually there. Give me some more evidence to show that he's abusing his developmentally disabled child or offspring, and I'll bite. But that I'm not gonna assume. Didn't look good. Definitely doesn't look good. That looked more like an assertive correction, an assertive redirect. That's what that looked like to me. Sometimes that little jerk is needed. Not like you know what I'm meaning. You know what I mean. Temple's gay music. It's covered what pretty well. The jerk or yeah. It at least proved he was more concerned with his son than the optics. Yeah, I agree, Honeyfangs. I don't know. I don't want to attribute, like I said, I don't want to assume that he's abusing his kid behind closed doors. Hopefully not. But that right there is not one that's going to make me assume that he is. Doesn't look good, but whatever. So Temple's gay music, was it him covering the yank or covering the Harris interview? Oh, let me see here. Oh, the Kamala. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna probably watch another clip. We're at an hour. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having a good time, right, guys? If you guys are liking this channel, liking this show, like and follow. If you like my perspective on things, I share a lot. I do a lot of reposting on X, but every now and then I'll post some original content on X. Of course, I do stream to X as well, so that is a good avenue. I stream on YouTube. I am over there as well. If you want to follow me over there on YouTube, feel free to. I've got like 13 people following me there. It's not my main focus. Rumble and X really are my main areas that I'm focusing. Hey, look at that. We are up to 1,350 followers over there on X. Thank you so much for the 2 people that have followed since the start of the stream. I definitely appreciate you. Let me look here. And we are up to 44 people watching over there on X. Appreciate y'all. Up to around 30 people watching here on Rumble. Good times, good times. Really appreciate you guys. Got a 2-minute clip here we are going to look at. Open it up. Ooh, Dana Bash. Is it Dana or Dana? I don't know. Guess I don't really care that much. Just kind of like I don't really care that much about, is it Kamala or Kamala? Or Kamala? Who knows? Who knows?
There were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
A bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support.
You didn't need the fucking bill, Kamala. Shut up.
And Donald Trump, God,
it's a good thing I didn't find the whole video, guys, because I would have just been stopping and ranting.
Word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border, and because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't.
It wasn't a border bill either. It was a freaking international aid bill with the border bill attached on like a little leech, a little necrotic replacement theory leech.
Put it forward. He killed the bill.
Energy is a big one. When you were in Congress, you supported the Green New Deal. And in 2019, you said, quote, "There is no question I'm in favor of banning fracking." Fracking, as you know, is a pretty big issue, particularly in your must-win state of Pennsylvania. Sure. Do you still want to ban fracking?
No, as president, I will not ban fracking.
But what about her values, guys? What about her values? She said they didn't change. But I thought if you were for the Green New Deal, you would want to ban fracking, right? Oh.
You said that you carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing the uniform of this country. Equally proud of my service in a public school classroom.
No.
What was that? What was that? That did not answer that question at all. Let's play it back. Let's play it back here.
Zone, a campaign of carried weapons in war, but you have never deployed actually in a war zone. A campaign official said that you misspoke. Did you?
Well, first of all, I'm incredibly proud. I've done 24 years of wearing uniform.
You didn't answer the question, Timmy. Tampon Tim. Snatch it out your butthole and answer the fucking question. Because I don't know where the hell else you're putting that tampon, Mr. Tim. That did not answer the question. That is a roundabout, oh, I'm proud of my service. You lied. That is stolen valor. That is stolen valor. Fuck that guy. I'm glad that he helped. I'm glad that he served in the capacity that he did. I'm not knocking that. Be very clear, I'm not knocking that service. But he exaggerated. He lied about the quality of the service, the variety of the service. He lied about it. That is stolen valor.
Of this country, equally proud of my service in a public school classroom.
New way forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
You have been vice president for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
The steps that you're talking about now, why haven't you done them already?
Well, first of all, we had to recover as an economy, and we have done that. I'm very proud of the work that we have done.
She's proud, guys. She's proud of the economy right now. But I thought she was going to fix it on day one, though. They are double-speak masters.
Has brought inflation down to less than 3%.
You were a very staunch defender of President Biden's capacity to serve another 4 years. Right after the debate, you insisted that President Biden is extraordinarily strong. Given where we are now, do you have any regrets about what you told the American people?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Wow. Okay, so those were two of the biggest examples that I had kind of read ahead of that stuck out to me. So Walz, when asked about lying about his service, completely just sidesteps the question, doesn't address the issue, just a general platitude. That's it. Proud of the service that I gave to this country. Great, cool, but you lied, dude. You lied. The next one about, is she why hasn't she done the things? She's talking about things that she could have helped enact. In the 3 years she's been in office, she could have done these things. Dana Bash with a good question. Why haven't you already done them? Her answer wasn't an answer to that. It was, oh, well, we had to get the economy back on track. Well, first of all, the economy was starting to kick back up towards the end of Trump's presidency, even after shutdowns. So that was interesting. He set you guys up for success, and you just dropped the ball on purpose. It was an intentional fumble. Someone was mentioning earlier in the chat when, pulled McGroin. When Biden came in and literally did every executive order that Trump had and just wiped it all away, washed it all away. It's a good Five Finger Death Punch song, by the way. I might have to be a little bit quieter. My sick child is on the other side of the wall, and apparently he is either doing some sleep talking or he might be rousing awake. Hopefully not. Hey, thank you, by the way, to Yanni Fang. So thanks for hanging out late, man. Thanks for hanging out late. Don't stay up too late and put yourself out for work or nothing like that, though. Let me see. But yeah, when he came in and they are trying to take credit for the $35 insulin, that's something Trump put in place. But then Biden literally canceled out the executive order with a stroke of his pen. How hilarious is it that Biden was talking about how only dictators rule like that? And then he came in and just executive order, over and over and over again. It's almost like they don't mean what they say, guys. It's almost like they don't mean what they say. Fascinating. Downright fascinating. Oh, goodness gracious, y'all. Goodness gracious. Just that little 2-minute clip there. Might try to find another one if there's something particularly interesting headline here for the interviews. I'll play another one. If not, we'll probably go ahead and roll into our next story. We've got a clip from Mug Club with the Undercover All right. I don't know why this is. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen again real quick as I'm scrolling. Relevant. It's the Democrats. Kamala. Walz. Kamala Walz. No. That's a classic movie. Classic movie, by the way. Oh, gosh darn. All right. Where are we at here? Well, we got 50 people watching on X. Thank you guys so much for watching over there. If you do want to participate in the live chat over there on X, feel free. Don't really see anybody. I actually finally found live chat. Past few times I've checked it out, I couldn't see it. So glad it's there. Glad it's there. I'll try to keep an eye on that, and hopefully I don't miss anything over there if people do participate. So poor Jim and his delicate brain. Jim. Oh, Carrie? He had some moments there where he seemed like he was attaining a higher level of awareness. And then I think he might have done a little bit too much DMT and might have gotten lost with the Clockwork Elves. You got to be careful with that from what I understand. All right. Let's look real quick here. See if I can't find any other clips. There's a bunch of people reacting to it. I'll watch it later and maybe I'll have a little bit more to say about it. Just what a bad look though. What a bad look. Your first interview with the press after you inherit it from the zombie president, and you get on there. Oh, okay. Really quick. I got to pull this one up from Scott Jennings. I guess he's the resident Republican over there on CNN. Republican. You know how they're not going to get a hardcore guy over there. This is the clip, the emotional support animal. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. 45-second clip, and then we'll move on to our next story with the Mug Club Undercover expose with the UN stooge. Let's pull this up real quick, and this is some savagery from Jennings. Not gonna lie, I enjoy this. I'm pretty sure this is what I'm thinking it is. If not, my apologies.
Is the line now going to be, well, why isn't she doing it by herself?
Yeah, I do think people are going to bring that up. Like, I have great confidence in Dana and CNN to do this. I think it's incredibly weak sauce to show up with your running mate. The fact that they don't have enough confidence in her to let her sit herself, the actual top of the ticket, and do a single interview. In fact, I think the hand wringing and the gyrations over this over the last month show a troubling lack of confidence in her political ability, which also makes you wonder as a voter, well, what kind of president would you be if this kind of a small time decision, can we do an interview or not? What does that look like for your decision-making process, so on? So I think Republicans are going to think it's pretty weak to show up with effectively someone to take up half the time.
Is there the...
Okay, so I guess that's not where he said the emotional support animal thing, but hey, that's a good point. It's a good point. I mean, pretty much I agree with pretty much everything you said, though. But Paul McGroin, he's the equivalent of Morning Joe. Ooh, it's not a good endorsement. Not a good endorsement. Let me stop sharing here in case anything crazy pops up on my screen. You never know. All right. I have my messages pulled up there. Oh, I need to get a little bit better at checking my messages. Twitter's or X's messages are kind of weird sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Well, we're up to 55 people watching over there on X. Appreciate everybody who is hanging out today. I think it's probably one of the biggest audiences I've had. 37 people here. Well, I've had up to 50, I think, on Rumble before. Never really noticed that many. I think on the debate night, I might have had 100 people watching over on X. So, channel's growing a little bit. Didn't get as many views on the last video as I normally do, but, well, at least not in the 7 days, because usually I hit about 1,000 views, a little bit over. And it's not about the views, honestly. It's about getting the information out there and hanging out with you guys. I do this because I enjoy the process, and I enjoy hanging out with you guys in the chat. You guys make it all worthwhile. And I sincerely appreciate your patience with me. Anytime I might do one more ad read because there is one available. I don't need to do Rumble Premium again. Oh, it's just all Rumble stuff. Well, what do we have here? Should we do a 1775 coffee? You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's do a 1775 coffee ad read. Real quick, bear with me for just a moment here. Bear with me for a moment. Do you enjoy the free speech that Rumble is protecting and fighting for? Our show on Rumble is only possible thanks to our viewers supporting Rumble's platform by purchasing Rumble's products or subscribing, or doing the Rumble Premium. Most of you probably drink coffee every day. That's why you just gotta try Rumble's 1775 coffee. From what I understand, guys, it's actually some of the best coffee out there. It's the best. It's the best coffee. There are other coffees, but really, it's the best. Give you a little pep in your step. You won't be Sleepy Joe with 1775 coffee. It's actually some of the best coffee, and it's the same price as the coffee you buy now, but it's way better. Rumble's 1775 coffee is free from chemicals, yet rich in flavor. This is because their beans are sourced from high-altitude farms in Bolivia, hand-picked, roasted weekly at their facility in Miami, and delivered fresh to your doorstep. And as believers in freedom, buying from Rumble helps fight back against woke corporations like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Join the coffee revolution and brew rebellion with Rumble's 1775 coffee. Go to 1775coffee.com, use code STUDIO, and get a free month supply of their cognitive boosting supplement, Limitless, when you buy 2 bags of their coffee. Think about that. That's a crazy deal, guys. Come on. You know that movie, was that a movie, Limitless, where they had the guy that was, I think it was Matthew McConaughey, maybe, taking the little pill, and he was like a genius or something. I don't know. But think about the guys. That's a pretty crazy deal. It's a good deal. Good coffee, from what I understand. I know there are creators that I've watched that have actually drank it, and they say it's really, really good. So if you like coffee and you want to support a free speech platform and the creators here on this platform, check it out, 1775coffee.com. Try out their amazing coffee. And they have supplements too. Worth it. It's worth it in my opinion. All right. Out of the way. Get out of here, ad. Yanni Fangs, do one. I appreciate you guys bearing with me there. We're at over 40 here. One of them X doesn't count. I'm looking for the phantom chat you mentioned. It's on there. You got to click on the actual box, I think. And then it's it popped up for me this time. I haven't found it until today. So maybe it'll pop up for other people too. I don't know. Oh, I agree. Pulled McGroin. CNN, the Communist News Network, formerly Clinton News Network. So anything broadcasted there is taken with that in mind. I absolutely agree with you, sir. Aren't you Scuba Steve? I'm pretty sure we had this discussion last stream. You're a scuba diver and your name is Steve. Scuba Steve! Yes. Oh, okay, Yanni Fangs. Hey, we got a little bit of a... man, Yanni Fangs, you're on it, man. Apparently, the Limitless pills are pretty nice. The Limitless pills are... Wait for it. Good. Very nice. What's up, Slyant? Coming in the chat with the dancing otters. I'm not going to lie, those cute little dancing otters make my day. They're great. Great little otters. I've heard that apparently they're actually savage little beasts, though. And his name was Scuba Steve. Big Daddy's a great movie, by the way. It's a classic Adam Sandler. All right, guys. We are going to move into our next topic here. We are speaking with this next administration possibly being one of the largest globalist cuckoldries in history. Let's talk about globalism. We're going to talk about Mug Club's Undercover expose, where they got some candid remarks from a UN stooge. It's got his title in the video, so we will see that when we pull it up. Surprise, surprise, guys. The guys that work at the UN do advocate for globalism and want essentially national identity to be shirked. Shirked, I say. It's a shame. It's a shame. We are up to 42 people. Thank you guys so much for watching here. If you're on X, go ahead and like the stream over on X as well. Here on Rumble, go ahead and like it. Sincerely appreciate everybody watching. Oh, Apocryphal, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate you. I agree, Apocryphal World Records. Adam Sandler did have some solid stand-up. And honestly, just some of my movies from my childhood into my teen years. Good stuff. Good nostalgia. Robert Paulson. What are we talking about? See his own, so Steve. Oh God. Turns out Limitless Pill was just ivermectin. There's a lot of good stuff that ivermectin can do, apparently, guys. It's very cheap, and apparently does a lot of good for the human body. Who would have known something that was very, very low cost would be hindered by Big Pharma, or hindered by those who are paid by Big Pharma? Can't talk about it. We're going to disparage it and call it horse paste. That's what they do. All right. If you guys didn't see, real quick, I'm pulling this up. Pulling this up really quick, and then we'll scroll past it and go to our next thing. This was our thumbnail. I didn't create it this time, so credit to, I guess, Chuck Callisto, I suppose. There it was. That's the thumbnail. The emotional support animal for Kamala. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, stop sharing real quick and find this. Oh. All right. There's one of the little white pills. It's a little id pull. It is a little id pull. Just going to go ahead and be honest. It's a little id pull, but it's a good sign. It's a good sign for a movement within a community that typically votes Democrat. And it's nice to see a bunch of, black women come out and be like, hey, we don't like Kamala. We like Trump. That's one of the white pills that we're going to play at the end. We're going to play a little bit of sciencey stuff, and then that little. I think it's just a positive kind of thing. Good vibes. Good vibes. All right, where are we at here? There it is. I found it. Pause. Let's show that's bright. Lord. You guys ready for a bright white screen? Huzzah, bright white screen. Hope you guys weren't watching in the dark. If you are watching in the dark, I'm not mad at you, but kind of concerned. But also, I hope you're cozy. So here is the piece from Mug Club. They have been doing some undercover journalism here and there. It's not quite on the level of like a O'Keefe Media Group, but they are getting a lot of people actually in some places that they're getting some good information. They're getting some good information, and they're putting some people on blast. So let's go ahead and watch this 8-minute or so, 8.5-minute clip from Mug Club. Turns out the people who work for the UN are absolutely globalists. So let's look here. Let me know.
To the absolute power of the United States. One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism. And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists. And the definition of a globalist. One of the objectives of the UN is to create an identity of a globalist citizen. They create this institution which is the closest we've ever got to kind of like a world government. You know, the United Nations does not have its own army, which absolutely. I'm not sure the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump. The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch. A United Nations without the action of the United States backing it up, it's not going to be effective. The purpose of Donald Trump is to end the international institutions that somehow level the playing field. It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America. He wants America first.
Why is that a bad thing? George Pauletti, Associate Legal Officer, Treaty Section for UN Office of Legal Affairs. Why is that a bad thing? Why is it a bad thing to want our country to succeed and do well? That's not a bad thing.
Just the UN nomination. Yeah, because I remember her.
We are terrified. We're terrified.
So the internal vibe of the UN is like no one wants Trump.
Absolutely nobody wants Trump.
So is the UN just like useless now?
I would say for 95% of issues related to international peace and security, yes. I work more with the legal counsel, which is the lawyer of the United Nations. One of the defining features of this MAGA movement is the ultranationalism.
Hell yeah, ultra MAGA, ultra nationalism. I'm here for it.
No, ultra-nationalism. It's a movement that is deeply nationalistic. It's America first, America, make America great again, America, we hate immigrants, we hate everybody that is not us, doesn't think like us, doesn't look like us, right? That's a central element.
I'm happy to go. That was fun.
And one of the main enemies are what they call the globalists. And the definition of a globalist.
Yanni Fangs says, if more people knew what the UN has been up to, we all survive their insane plans. The UN does some of the most evil shit. When the UN comes into areas that are impoverished or third world areas to help, a lot of the times, guys, guess what increases dramatically in those areas? Underage prostitution, child prostitution. When the blue hats come in, apparently the kids get done in the worst way you can think of. The UN is a force for evil, in my opinion, and it needs to be disbanded. We don't need the UN. Just like we don't need NATO right now. We need to focus on our own country while having allies, but we need to put our damn countries first. That goes for the other countries too. Focus on yourselves. Make your own countries better. Do that. And maybe the amount that the U.S. gives to the UN, because we're like the largest funder for the UN from what I understand. Yeah, they simply want to unburden us from what has been. Look to the future. Look to what can be. Unburdened by what has been. Y'all see that she does a little choreography when she does that. What can be unburdened by what has been. I don't know. Maybe there's a Baphomet statue that does the pointing up and then pointing down. I'm just saying. Maybe there's some energy to that. I don't know. I'm just asking questions. Good Lord, how far has that man fallen? Jesse Ventura, he's supporting Kamala.
I'm not sure the United Nations as an institution is going to survive a second term by Donald Trump.
Wait, say that again? Oh, I don't want to come.
I'm not sure the UN is going to survive a second term of Donald Trump.
Why do you say that?
Because the purpose of Donald Trump is to end the international institutions that somehow level the playing field. He wants America first.
Just the UN nomination. Yeah, because I remember her.
We are terrified. We're terrified. They create this institution, which is the closest we've ever got to kind of like a world government. A world.
Oh, and they just say it. They just say the words. One world government. New world order. They believe this stuff, guys. This is what they believe. This is what they want. They don't want national identity. They want a gray goo of population. No individualistic thought. They want brutalist communist takeover. Yep.
government, like a one world government.
Exactly.
Exactly. One world government.
Absolutely. It's to create a space for also the creation of a consciousness of a species, of a planet, of an identity as a planet. One of the objectives.
Ooh, interesting. Of a species, of a planet, an identity as a planet. Well, that's an interesting little rabbit hole you could probably dive down, huh? Huh. Getting the planet all together and to represent what? So why do you need the whole planet together as a representation of like the governing body for the whole planet? What? I don't know. I don't know. Galactic Empire.
Objectives of the UN is to create an identity of a global citizen.
Of a global citizen.
Yes. Of someone who shares an identity, a political identity with everybody on this planet.
Is that known though that the UN wants that that's one of the goals of the UN?
Yes. And I get it. That is annoying for people that are ultra-nationalists because it's a threat to the absolute power of the United States.
Why?
Because they don't want an institution over the U.S. telling the U.S. what to do. The United States pays 27% of the total budget of the United States. For example, say that the United Nations creates an environmental agency.
Yanni Fangs with a fun point here. Is this part of Big Daddy O's plan since college days? I know he planned out the demise of our country, but how close was he to the NWO? And how organized are they if they're still scared of Donald J. Trump? It's a good point. It's a good point. But yeah, greetings, fellow humans, Temple's Gay Music says.
And that environmental agency says that
Nancy Pelosi recently literally just talked about having the reptilian brain. Maybe we'll have to find that here in a moment. Literally, come on, Nancy.
countries can only reach a certain level of pollution. How do you think all these crazy MAGA people are going to react to that? Who are you, globalists, to tell me, the United States, what I can do?
So is the UN just like useless now?
I would say for 95% of issues related to international peace and security, yes.
95%
Yes.
related to international
It's not
matters?
international peace and security.
International peace and security.
Yes, which is the main goal of this institution.
So it's 95% useless for that.
It's 95% useless.
There are many instances of human rights in which skillful lawyers can take cases in case Trump decides to go completely wrong. One instance is the United Nations. But another instance that I think will work even better is the Organization of American States. It's a regional international organization. Its member states are only in the Americas. So they generally deal with regional matters. The thing is, they have a very good human rights tribunal system. And the United States is part of it.
So they're going to try to bring Trump up on a human rights tribunal? Really? Paul McGroin says, the thing that scares me most is the treaty with other nations. Treaties supersede the Constitution. They shouldn't. So we can lose God-given rights easily. I sure as hell ain't going to be. You know, we say that, but our right to privacy is shut. It's not there. It's not there. We don't have a right to privacy anymore because we give it up willingly. We get so complacent, and I'm guilty of it as well. You know, you click agree to the damn user agreement. And, it used to be the schizophrenics were the only ones worrying about their toasters and refrigerators listening to them. Maybe they were just ahead of the game. Just saying.
Human rights system, so you can bring cases against the United States to that system. That is one way to go.
So the political appointees don't work?
Oh no.
Like who?
Like, I mean, there is this international law commission when you have people appointed by governments of the whole world. You have people from Latin America, you have the US guy, the Russian guy lost the chair because of the whole Ukrainian drama. There's a bunch of people who are supposed to be great international lawyers, and they're going to make a great job codifying the law of the world. They just take the money and they don't do anything. The United States government funds 27% of the UN budget.
27%?
Yeah.
Is that more than anyone else?
Oh, by a long stretch.
There is very little power that the United Nations has that is not actually the power of its member states. A United Nations without the action of the United States backing it up, it's not going to be effective. You know, the United Nations does not have its own army.
Should it?
Absolutely. Because
Fuck this guy. Yeah, you want an army going around increasing the child prostitution, I guess. That's what you want, right, guy? No, the UN does not need its own army.
As every good lawyer knows, whenever politics get involved, the law disappears. Completely disappears.
When politics get involved, the law disappears?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How often does that happen?
All the time.
Like what?
And that is something we have to, when Putin decides to invade Ukraine,
What
in
law?
violation of the UN Charter.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Article 2,
Yeah.
the use of force is prohibited in international relations.
But what has our country been doing for the past 30 years? All right.
That's the law. It's clear, crystal clear.
The law, or is it? He said a charter. So part of the UN Charter. Does that equate to law? Binding law? I don't know. There is international law, I suppose. Certain standards that people try to adhere to in aspects of war. Yeah, true. But oh man, Yanni Fangs. Man, you're hitting some interesting points there today, Yanni Fangs. Fascinating. I guess you might be talking about them being lizard people. So they might actually be giggled at the idea, but with the weird head shape and the bizarre actions, maybe the child fluids, or they might actually be beings from a different dimension. I don't think they're smart enough to be beings from a different dimension. At least the ones that we see on TV. I don't think those ones are. Maybe you have some people hanging out in the back channels that might be a little bit more nefarious or otherworldly. I don't know. It's a possibility. Gosh dang, that perspective, guys. That perspective, that's a brief glimpse into one of the UN stooges and how they feel about America first or nationalist perspectives. I do not know when it happened. When was the shift, guys? When was the shift? By the way, I see that we have 46 people watching here on Rumble. Guys, if you have not liked this stream, smash that like button. Give it a good thump. Give it a good, little atomic elbow. Right onto that like button. Like the stream. Comment in the comment section. If you want to interact in the chat, you can. But if you don't want to, that is okay. I appreciate my lurkers. You guys are awesome. I appreciate anybody who takes time out of their day to watch a little old me, Midwestern Bulldozer. If you're watching over on X, take a look at Rumble or YouTube or both. And follow Bulldozer74 on Rumble, YouTube. I'm Bulldozer74 _ on X. We broke 1,350 followers earlier. So we are making my way downtown, walking fast. No, we're not doing that today, guys. We're not doing that. It's a great song, by the way. Yes, that happened. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know I did. Yeah, the globalists are clearly out in full force. They want the we'll call it the Globo Chomo agenda. Chomo stands for child hurter. There's a lot of that with the UN, apparently. Like I said, an interesting fact. When the UN sends their blue hats, when they send in their blue hats, child prostitution demand increases dramatically. That is astonishing. I'm a strong believer in some of the most evil things come from when kids are hurt in that type of way. Some of the things that I've seen from people that have done horrible things in the past, and you end up getting to the root of it, and a lot of those people were hurt when they were children. When you leave a scar on somebody's soul. And I don't know if it's demonic. I don't pretend to know. This is my theory on it. I think that what inspires somebody to do something so horrible, if they've never had it done to them, because a lot of people just go ahead and do the bad thing, hurt people, right? That's one of the things that, a previous line of work that I did. That's one of the things you hear all the time. Hurt people, hurt people. Hurt people don't always have to hurt others, though. That's the second part to that people forget. But if hurt people, who was the first one? Who was the first one that decided they were going to hurt a kid like that? And I can only think that it has to be some type of evil, like dark influence that would inspire somebody to do something so horrific to a child. And I think that sadly stains the soul, and it can lead to furthering of that evil. It wants to continue. If we're going to attribute, intelligence to the entity, whatever it may be, the force, whatever it may be, when you have I was talking about it earlier today. There was a post from Redacted. I actually might pull it up. Actually, let me look real quick. Hey, look at that. Got a repost from Tim Pool's Gay Music. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, buddy. And we got and a follow, and then Anna's Blue Eyes. I'll try to give you guys a follow back, by the way. Boom. Followed you back, Tim Pool's Gay Music. I do try to follow back. Hopefully you I don't follow back just to follow back. I usually like to follow people that actually have interesting stuff, but I appreciate anybody who follows my stuff. So, one of the things Redacted actually posted something earlier, and it let me see if I can find it real quick. Here it is. So Redacted said, "What's one thing that you hope you're wrong about?" First thing that came to my mind was the demonic influence inspiring the mass sacrifice of innocent children, re-abortion, and the sacrifice of innocent citizens for war. That is a belief that I have. You can make fun of that all you want. When reason and logic fly out the window to explain horrific things, my only explanation is the devil, demonic. I mean, Bobby Boucher, that girl is the devil. No, I mean that's just where my mind goes. That's where I believe that there's no good reason for these things to continue happening, other than it's some type of weird ritual. That just makes sense. Everybody, if that's not what you believe, you don't have to believe what I think. Or what I believe. You don't have to think what I think. But that's just my perspective on it. I'm not saying I'm for sure right. That's just what it kind of looks like. They're the devil. No, they're not. She showed me them, and I like them too. Classic Waterboy. Yanni Fangs. Says, I remember hearing enough admitted stuff that the UN had looked into that I cannot abide their complacency. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to be asleep, so if I say angry things, I guess I really mean them. Hey, man, if you need to get some sleep, man. I appreciate you hanging out and supporting the channel and everything. If you guys, by the way, we were up to 46 followers at one point, or 46 people watching the stream here on Rumble. We think we hit 60 over there on X, so thank you guys so much for watching. Greatly appreciated. If you want to subscribe to the channel here on Rumble, more than glad to accept a subscription. It's $5 a month. You get access to an elite subscriber only tier of emotes, and your name is highlighted in red, so you stick out in the most wonderful of ways. This beautiful, beautiful MAGA red haze highlighting your voice in the live chat on Rumble. It's one of the great things about subscribing to this channel. And, you know, you help keep a young father from door dashing at night. Seriously, guys, anytime somebody wants to contribute to the channel, it is always appreciated. I've got a Venmo too. I don't know if I should shout that out or not. I see other people do it. Maybe I'll start doing that. I don't want to seem like I'm just trying to get shekels all the time here, but if you do want to throw a few bucks my way, that is awesome. Always supported. We've got a few subscribers to the channel already. I think we've got Sabaticus, Yanni Fangs, and dang it, I got it saved. Let me find it real quick because I do appreciate anybody who wants to contribute to my content. Let me find it really quick here because here it is. Yep, got it in my favorites. Salt Dumpster, Sabaticus, and Yanni Fangs. Those are 3 subscribers to the channel, $5 a month. You guys are absolute chads, and I appreciate the heck out of any support that you wish to give to this channel. My goal here is to spread information in an informative way. We are trying to give a voice to an America First movement. We are trying to give voice to Common Sense. By the way, Common Censored, amazing show Monday through Friday, 5:45-ish Central to about 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. I think he's on the East Coast. Lord Sterling over there. Great content. If you like what I'm doing here on this channel, he's got a little bit higher production value. I'm not going to lie. It's good stuff. So check them out. They are worth a follow. They're Common Censored on X and also on True Social. I try to repost their links, so you guys will be seeing that. But let's see. What is it? Trying to keep up with chat here. You guys are having a good time in chat. Appreciate you guys. Lord Tardy. Is he a little bit late? A little bit. I was 1 minute late. I was only 1 minute late in gay today, guys. Only 1 minute. I usually am not late, so I do apologize. But I was trying to. I had foolishly left my laptop not connected to my charger, and yeah, it was off when I came up here. So thankfully, I was really happy to see that when I plugged it in, everything popped up like it was supposed to. So thank you, Intel Core HP laptop. I appreciate you, even though you don't have very many ports for USBs, so I had to get a little side thing there, but it works. We get it done. But yeah, guys, go check out Common Censored. Great show Monday through Friday there. Usually goes about 3 hours. Starts around 5:45 Central, so I guess that would be 6:45 Eastern. Get my time zones right. Yeah, over to the yeah, but worth watching in my opinion. Does some really great content there. He's got a Discord as well. I've got a Discord channel, but I don't really do much there. I need to make it a little bit bigger because I do have the dozerden.locals.com. My idea for that is just a place to share cool things that, interesting things, share, links to stuff that might be important. If you want me to cover something on the next stream, feel free to shoot me a message over there on X or on True Social, which True Social does have messaging. It was Lady Hamilton Art. She was talking about the spaghetti squash earlier. She was showing me on X some of the stuff that she's worked on, and she actually used to be a chef, and so hers looked a little bit fancier than the ones we did this evening, but it did look really good though. And man, I only ate half of my plate because I had one half of a spaghetti squash, and I had the bigger half, and my wife had the smaller half. So I had about half of that I got through. If you haven't tried spaghetti squash and you're trying to do low carb, it is a very acceptable alternative to pasta, in my opinion. If someone didn't tell you and you were just munching away on spaghetti, you'd think it was probably spaghetti. Maybe a little bit, depending on the fruit itself, might be a little juicy, but I thought it was delicious. You bake it for I think like 30 or 40 minutes in olive oil, in different seasonings and stuff like that. So I might have to pull that up here in a minute and show you guys. But before we do something like that. Yeah, the UN is full of globalists. Speaking of globalism, though, replacement theory in this country is alive and well. We have a story out of Aurora, Colorado that showcases a Venezuelan gang taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado. They appear to be just kind of doing whatever the hell they want. It's only slightly disconcerting. Only slightly disconcerting. We've got a 5-minute clip here that we are probably going to go ahead and watch from Fox News, and you've got a retired. They have a little interview with John Fabricator. That has got to be a fake name. His name is John Fabricator. Fabbricotre. What? Well, that's just on the nose. All right. Let's pull this thing up real quick. It's from I Meme, Therefore I Am over there on X. We bumped up to like 50 people at one point over here on Rumble. Awesome sauce. And I did just say that. I'm not ashamed. Not at all. We're over at 59 or so people watching on X. You guys are awesome as well. Appreciate the heck out of anybody who is taking time out of their day, and hopefully you're learning a little bit of something today. Hopefully you're getting a little bit of entertainment today. I try to bring a little bit of levity to the news, even though I can get dark at time. Last time someone said I was dark dozer a couple times when we were talking about some particularly heavy topics, and I was sick. I wasn't feeling the best, so I might have been a little bit grumpier than normal. So yeah. All right, getting her done. You have yourself a good night's rest. Appreciate you hanging out and participating in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Get some rest. Sleep well. Yanni Fangs, if you took off, you have yourself a good night as well. I saw you do a... I don't know. If you're still here, thank you for hanging out. Anybody who is still hanging out here, we are at about 2 hours. I did say we are going to keep it to about 2 hours today. So we're going to play this little clip here. And then we need to talk through an article about the Arlington cemetery kerfuffle. People want to throw Trump in jail for respecting the wishes of a military family and just showing up and laying the wreath. And they asked for photographers to take some pictures, because they want it memorialized. And I think that's okay. And I think if you have a problem with that, you can sit down and shut up. That's what I think. People, I have family that served from, uncles and grandfathers. I don't give a shit. And here's the thing, guys. Just because you served doesn't mean you're a great person. Gonna go ahead and throw that out there. A lot of shit people end up in the Army. And I do appreciate their service. And if they protected the country, God bless you. But that doesn't automatically earn your respect. There are some garbage people that end up in the Army. There's gang members that end up in the Army, and they use the training from the military to further the gang warfare. They bring that back, and they have the warfare on the streets. So just because somebody served doesn't necessarily mean that they automatically get your respect. Like, for instance, John McCain. Fuck John McCain. Yeah, Trump mocked him, rightfully so. Probably could have been a little bit less spicy with it, because you were trying to win over Republicans. But he was right. Apparently, I think. Okay, I don't know if we're 100% sure, so I'm not going to say that John McCain sang like a little bird in that cage. But I've heard that might have been what happened. Just saying. Oh, okay, you're still here. Good job. Good deal, Yanni Fangs. Oh, man. So yeah, Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Let's play this little clip here. It's talking about the border crisis spilling into nearby suburbs. Let's see if this is actually what I want it to be. If not, then we'll find it real quick and cover it that way. This guy's name. Fabricator.
Sanctuary jurisdiction protects criminals and not U.S. citizens. And the real issue here is that there's a huge increase in...
Literally, guys, look at that last name. Fabricator. Fabricatore? Just, what? Okay. Okay.
violence in these areas in Aurora where these newly arrived foreign-born migrants, many of whom are Venezuelan, have started to grow. The Biden-Harris administration is complicit in having allowed our borders just be in chaos. They've allowed this criminal element.
And now police in Aurora are creating a task force to address concerns about the rise of a violent Venezuelan gang, Nicaragua, right there in Colorado. Let's bring in our Aurora City Council member, Danielle Jurinsky. Danielle, thank you. We've been hearing about this for quite some time. Residents have shared their concern. We've heard this coming up at city council meetings there. Aurora said,
Eye Patch McCain, guys. Eye Patch McCain. Dan Crenshaw.
We don't have anything to do with this migrant crisis or trying to help because we just don't have the space. The hospitals were overwhelmed. What is it that you're seeing right now as far as this Venezuelan gang taking over now the migrant centers there?
It's unreal. It's unreal. Residents tell me they feel like they are living in a third world country at this point. They are going block by.
I literally said that earlier, didn't I? Temple's Gay Music said, quoting Firestein, Josh Firestein from Louder with Crowder about the service members. I think that might be what you're talking about there.
Block. They are going apartment complex by apartment complex. They are taking it over. I think the city doesn't really know how to handle it. So the city is burying certain properties that have been taken over by this Nicaragua gang, burying them with code violations and playing it off as if this is just simply code violations. But this gang, they are marking their territory. They are putting up their gang-related graffiti on the blocks, on the areas that they have taken over. And quite frankly, I have heard too many stories from too many property owners, business owners, and residents to think that this is anything other than a complete gang takeover in parts of our city.
Like, what are you hearing from them? So say the business owners, for example, what have they been experiencing?
Break-ins, violence, kicking doors in. I had one property owner tell me that a tenant literally vanished from their property. To this day, they don't know what happened to that tenant. His phone was shut off. They had not collected rent. They went, knocked on the door to get into the unit. The Aurora Police Department had to come let them in the unit, and the whole place was filled with guns, money, and giant barrels of gasoline. I am being told that they are running a black market for gasoline. And again, like I said, to this day, they have no idea what happened to that man, to their tenant.
Barrels of gasoline. That couldn't go poorly, could it?
Just reading through the what we know about Cookie Monster. I'm sure you've heard about this local gang leader by now. This is according to the reporting in the New York Post. This person has set up operations with the other gang members there in Aurora. This person allegedly took part.
Back when I was close to back when I was over 300 pounds, which is not a good weight for somebody who's 5'6" on a good day, y'all. My nickname may have been the Cookie Monster, but I wasn't a gang member unless the gang was for diabetes. Goodness. I had, yes, Yanni Fangs, you took the time to type that out in different comments, and I felt like it was important to go ahead and share that. Yes, sir. All right. Yeah, the Cookie Monster. It reminds me. Okay, so wait, what about that? Wasn't it in Haiti, that gang member, Barbecue? Wasn't that his name? Something like that? And the cannibal gangs or something, and they named him Barbecue. Turns out apparently that wasn't what we thought it was. Fascinating. Huh, the media lied? No.
A brutal assault at an apartment complex there in Aurora. In March 2024, was arrested and charged with several felony assault charges, but was bailed out of custody and failed to show up in court. July 2024, just a couple months ago, arrested for allegedly carrying out a shooting at the same apartment where the previous assault occurred. One of your biggest points.
Yeah, Paul McGroin, actually, I used to use the excuse because I was up over 300 pounds. I was probably about 310, 315. And I always use that, I can lift heavy weight. And yeah, I could put up 315 pounds and 3 sets of 5 on bench press. Sure. And I could squat heavy weight, and I did, and I can still lift heavy. Don't get me wrong. But after a shoulder injury here and there, not as probably, I do 275 in sets of 10, so it ain't too bad. But Yeah, it definitely feels a lot better not to be walking around with that much weight. You have some a lot, and I mean, I'm not going to say it's like addiction, but it can be. And you got your moments where you kind of hit rock bottom with being really fat. And I had a couple of those, and I'm like, you know what? I really hate getting out of breath tying my shoes. And it did get annoying. And so yeah, I got about around 240 right now. So lost about 60, 70 pounds from my heaviest, which ain't bad. It's actually, I'm only about 5 pounds. I was 235 my senior year of high school. So I may be 5'6" and I may be 235, 240, but I'm a solid 235 or 240. Not saying I couldn't lose another 10 or 15. Don't get me wrong. I definitely could. But yeah, it's a hell of a process. That's for sure. It's not easy, but just put a muzzle on, honestly. Put a muzzle on, do a little running here and there. Oh, we got Show Sugino here in the chat. First time I've seen your name, I think. So not gonna lie, I off and on show up here. The behind you, My Little Pony background is not. Well, thank you for being a lurker. Thank you for being a lurker, and thanks for participating in chat today, Show Sugino. I appreciate you. I don't think it's a My Little Pony. I got some Squishmallows back behind me. Yeah, it's a bit of a. If you look, I've got we got stuffies over there, and then behind me you've got anime stuff, various anime things, and then of course what I'm talking about here really has nothing to do with either one of those, does it? You can have a variety of tastes, guys, a variety of things. So no, I did not take disrespect at all. You are just fine, just fine. No, unless the Squishmallow is disrespected. The octopus, Lady Dozer, she threw the octopus on the bed before the stream. That wasn't me. The little pink bunny hanging up on the wall is the commie bunny that I gave a swift front thrust kick to in my previous placeholder video. But yeah, and I put it up there today. That one I did put there because you never know when communism is going to come and bite you guys. It's always lurking in the background behind your Squishmallows. Yanni Feng says, not bad, son. I ain't going to try to push you over on the playground. I was a lineman in high school, so I'm pretty good. They call me Bill Dozer for a reason, all right? It was crazy. You had me and my little brother were on the right side of the offensive line whenever I was a senior, and he was actually lost a lot of weight because he did a lot of running, but he was still stout. And he was the guard and I was the tackle. And it was crazy to see, us short little dwarves going up against these giants. Most of the time linemen are big folks, and we may be short and scrawny, but we sure as heck put a thump on some people. It was fun.
And we've heard this from others, is that Denver initially downplayed the concerns about this gang takeover. Where's the city now on this? And what?
Show Sugino. That's great. I wish I would have I could still need a. Oh wait, that was the. Oh, green drape. Maybe. That's a thought. I've got a little divider thing, but all right. It was Tinfoil's game music. So that sounds good and all, but we know Ricada fat shamed you. I wish I would have got a fat shaming from him. Man, he does some fantastic fat shamings. We need more of those. I hope he gets back to where he can do some nightly streams, or at least a few streams a week, maybe. But oh, if I put some get a green screen behind me and put some nuclear bombs going off in the green screen. Alex Jones, the Frog Prophet. All hail the Frog Prophet. Praise be upon him. He'll want an interview in a month. That'd be amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I would fanboy. I would fanboy hard. Let's get back to this here.
What are they doing about it? I mean, we've heard that the Venezuelan gang has green-lighted their members to attack police when confronted.
That's right. And Denver remains silent on the issue. Our governor remains silent on this issue. But the city of Aurora, we are taking a very different approach. We are trying to expose everything that we can. The Aurora Police Department just formed a gang task force. I have heard of this Cookie Monster and that he is the shot caller for this gang in the area. I have visited many of these properties. One time I stepped out of my vehicle and an alert whistle, this is how they're communicating, by whistling. An alert whistle happened and I very quickly had to get back in my car. They have people posted all around different properties, up and down different blocks. They're watching, they're communicating. This is no less than a complete gang takeover. I have heard of this Cookie Monster. I have heard he was arrested, and the fact that he is back out on the streets is an epic failure to the people of Aurora and the entire state of Colorado.
I just want to finish up with this warning from the FBI director, if we still have it, from Director Wray. This was in April of this year, when he was warning about the rise of this Venezuelan gang. Listen.
We have ongoing engagement with intelligence community partners, state and local law enforcement.
It's not like our intelligence agencies, including the FBI, facilitate the transfer of these individuals into this country and then maybe give them, funds and weapons. Not like our FBI would ever do something like that, right, guys?
In some cases, foreign partners, looking at whether it's their, drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping for ransom.
Trump put this guy in, guys. This is one of the big mistakes from Trump right here. This guy right here.
Some, different kinds of violent crime, different kinds of trafficking and smuggling, even things like organized retail theft.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? And we know that the Lake and Riley murder suspect had ties to a Venezuelan crime gang, assuming this one. And that was a serious threat. And for so long, people think, well, this isn't coming to their backyard. And here Denver and these surrounding areas are dealing with it. Final thought from you.
The final thought is that out of Aurora, Colorado, we are going to continue to stand up and expose this. I am working with many of these residents. I am personally pitching in and helping to get them moved out themselves. And a huge tell-all is coming very, very soon out of Aurora from these residents themselves, that we will not allow the state to continue to downplay this. We will not allow the federal government to continue to downplay this.
Yep. So yeah, gangs taking over. Just don't be worried about that. Don't be worried about the gangs, guys. The gangs coming in, taking over. It's one of the reasons we need Trump back in office. I'm not going to say he's going to be the Messiah that's going to fix everything, but you know what? Actually enacting the law, actually deporting the people who don't need to be here. That would be a good start. That would be a damn good start, wouldn't it, guys? Speaking of Trump, our next topic is going to focus on the left's insane response to Trump placing wreaths at Arlington National Cemetery. Trump was asked by family members, I'm pretty sure from the botched Afghanistan withdrawal. 3, I think, of the 13 members that lost their lives asked him to be there. And they wanted pictures taken. And so the Trump campaign went ahead and did it. And yeah, they ended up posting it to TikTok with some political stuff behind it. Apparently, you're not supposed to shoot political ads on at Arlington National Cemetery. Get over it. That's one of those things that just let it go. They did try to say that apparently someone from the Trump campaign shoved past the Arlington person, and she wasn't going to press charges though. According to the Trump campaign, she's the one who initiated contact. So it's a bit of a he said, she said. It is what it is. Believe what you want, I suppose, but I'm going to go ahead and probably say that it's probably not as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. And the fact that people are talking about prosecuting Trump, I posted, I made a comment because I get in the AP and I read from the AP, but the AP is leftist as hell. They and the people that follow the AP are good little lapdogs that try to fight for them. Yeah, and I went a little bit back and forth, made some fun, whatever. They deserved it. But let me see if I can. We got a statement from the family that we'll read through really quick before this AP article. Let me see. Share this really quick. All right, so There's a picture of him with some of the family members there at Arlington Cemetery, and this statement from this family. We would like to express our heartfelt thanks and appreciation to President Donald J. Trump for his presence at the recent Section 60 gathering honoring our children and their fallen brothers and sisters on the 3-year anniversary of the Abbey Gate bombing. The president and his team conducted themselves with nothing but the utmost respect and dignity for all of our service members, especially our beloved children. We had given our approval for President Trump's official videographer and photographer to attend the event, ensuring these sacred moments of remembrance were respectfully captured, and so we can cherish these memories forever. We are deeply grateful to the president for taking the time to honor our children and for standing alongside us in our grief, offering his unwavering support during such a difficult time. His compassion and respect meant more than words can express. So I guess they had okay, so these are a couple of the families, I guess. So the parents of these sergeant. So Darren, this is with sincere gratitude, Darren Hoover, father of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, Kelly Barnett, mother of Staff Sergeant Taylor Hoover, Christy Shamblin, mother-in-law of Sergeant Nicole G, Misty Rose Fuoco, sister of Sergeant Nicole G, and Cheryl Jules, aunt of Sergeant Nicole G. So that's the statement from the family about that. So as far as I'm concerned, you're un-American as hell and you hate military families if you're mad about this. That's just my opinion. Let's see. Where did I put this AP article? Nope. Down a little lower. Well, there's an update from the Aurora Police Department about the gangs. Did you guys see Don Lemon did his thing there? Why is Don Lemon littering on the streets? New York doesn't need more litter, Don. Nobody wants your damn book. That was weird. Does he act like people are going to be excited about his face? He honestly thinks he must be really important. Don Lemon thinks he's very important, guys. Nobody cares about your book, Donnie. Nobody cares. So here's the article. Let's go ahead and look through this really quick. We're at 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'm not going to 3 hours today, guys. I'm not doing it. We're going to probably hit about 2.5, so that's a little bit later than I wanted, but I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I have really enjoyed this stream so far, guys, so thank you guys so much. To the 59 people or 60 people over there on X, thank you as well. Good times, good times. I'm glad you're hanging out. So I did not share the right one there. Just a second here. I forgot when you open up the link, it opens up, when you open up an article in X, it opens a new link, and then that one is not the one that you're sharing. So I'm glad I paid attention to my stream for a second there. It's not like I'm an amateur at this or anything, y'all. Arlington National Cemetery worker was pushed aside in Trump staff dispute, but won't seek charges. Just fuck you, AP. To quote Vivek Ramaswamy, go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. It gets, I'm sorry if there anybody, listening on speakerphone, my apologies, but my goodness, this something is as innocent and respectful as this, and they go after it. They want the inverse of righteous. It's the inverse. The movement against America First is absolutely antithetical to the right. That would be antithetical to what we would consider to be righteousness. That's just my opinion. Yeah, Don Lemon used to make 30 million a year. Now he can barely get 30,000 views. It's pretty shameful. Pretty shameful. Oh man. Some interesting stuff you're talking about there, Sho Sugino. So they say he was pushed. A staff member was pushed aside. This is by Adriana Gomez, Lycan, and Tara Kopp. Washington AP. An Arlington National Cemetery official was abruptly pushed aside in an altercation with former President Donald Trump's staff during a wreath-laying ceremony to honor service members killed in the Afghanistan war withdrawal. But she declined to press charges, an Army spokesperson said Thursday. The Army spokesperson said the cemetery employee was trying to make sure those participating in Monday's wreath-laying ceremony to mark the third anniversary of the attack were following the rules, which, quote, clearly prohibit political activities on cemetery grounds, end quote. A TikTok video of the visit was later shared by Trump. A TikTok video of the visit that was later shared by Trump shows scenes of him at the cemetery and includes a voiceover of the Republican presidential nominee blaming the Biden administration for the disaster of the Afghanistan withdrawal. Why are they even putting that in quotes? That's true. That was a horrible withdrawal. If they would have stuck to the time frame that Trump initially had, maybe it wouldn't have ended up having dead service members because they delayed it. Trump was going to pull it out earlier during a time where it's kind of against their cultural norms to be at war or to be actively engaged in violence. So he had a smart time, and he had a previous agreement with a tribal system, and they do not respect it when an entity that they made a deal with backs out. And did they backed out of the original agreement, and they ended up pissing the tribal people off there in Afghanistan, and it led to violence and led to Americans dying. Good job, Biden. You and Kamala Harris. Yes, Harris. She was the last one in the room, y'all. That's what she says. She was the last one in the room. She signed off on it. She was 100% on board with it. You're responsible too, Kamala. Let's see. This employee acted with professionalism and avoided further disruption, the Army spokesman's statement said. This incident was unfortunate, and it is also unfortunate that the ANC employee and her professionalism has been unfairly attacked. The incident was reported to the police, but because the employee decided not to press charges, the Army said it considered the matter closed. In response, Chris LaCivita, a top Trump campaign advisor, resent a video of Trump at Arlington that he had first put up on X 3 days ago, adding the message, reposting this, hoping to trigger the hacks at Sec Army. Campaigning in Michigan on Thursday, Trump said surviving family members had asked to take a photo with him at the cemetery. They asked me to have a picture, and they say I was campaigning. It's ridiculous, but they keep going, and I tell you, I was just there, laying wreaths. They asked me to be there. So he complained without addressing the TikTok video. God, what are these people? The way they write. The controversy comes as Trump has been working to tie his Democrat opponent, Vice President Harris, to the chaos of the Afghanistan war withdrawal with just over 2 months until Election Day. You can't not tie her to it. It is factual. The suicide bombings at the Kabul airport, which killed 13 American service members and more than 170 Afghans on August 26, 2021, was one of the lowest points of the Biden administration and followed a withdrawal commitment and timeline that the Trump administration had negotiated with the Taliban the previous year. Bullshit. That is a lie. They did not adhere to the agreement that was there before. They extended the stay, and it pissed. Like I just went through this. That is a lie. Do better. Whatever your name was at the top. The other one of the authors' last name was Cobb. I guess the other one was Lycan. So Lycan and Cobb, get your facts straight. You're wrong. Families of 3 of the slain service members had invited Trump to the, why don't you just say invited Trump to the ceremony, saying the former president knew their children's stories and blaming the Biden administration for their deaths. Some of the families of these service members spoke out in support of Trump at the RNC in July, in part to blunt criticism that Trump wasn't supportive enough of veterans. There is the one story, the lie about suckers and losers. I had a neighbor. Well, he's not a neighbor. He's about a mile away, but I live out in the country, so we consider them neighbors. He's down the road from us. Had a big sign that he wrote up, like with paint. It said, "I'm a vet, not a sucker." And I wish I would have been able to actually have a conversation with that man. But honestly, dude, you are a fucking sucker if you believe that story. All anonymous sources until years later, John Kelly says that he probably said it. But a bunch of people that hate Trump, John Bolton, even Christopher, not Christopher, I think Christopher Wray, James Comey even, I think, said that, yeah, there's no way Trump said that. Trump didn't call them suckers and losers. Multiple people came out that don't like Trump and said that that was complete and utter nonsense. So if your best thing is an anonymous source said, or somebody who absolutely hated Trump, John Kelly, said that Trump made a disparaging comment about the dead veterans, you're going to have to do a slight bit better. Okay. No other criticism. There's none. And that isn't legitimate. But yeah, that guy, I'm not a vet, I'm a sucker. Dude, you are if you buy that. So thank you for your service, but come on now. The family members initially struggled to arrange Trump's visit to the cemetery, according to a spokesperson for U.S. Rep. Mike McCall, a Texas Republican who chairs the who chairs the House Foreign Affairs Committee. The families had reached out to McCall because the cemetery had been giving them a hard time about coordinating the ceremony with Trump. McCall's spokesperson Leslie Shedd said at the time, the families have said the Army would only allow the ceremony at a specific time that did not work for everybody's schedule, among other conditions, Shedd said. McCall then reached out to House Speaker Mike Johnson for assistance and tracked the matter until it was resolved, Shedd said. I was furious to hear their request to have President Trump join them to commemorate the anniversary of Taylor's death was being stymied, along with several of the other family members of the U.S. service members killed at Abbey Gate, McCall said in a statement. Gold Star families have already suffered enough. I agree. The Trump campaign has been facing blowback since an NPR report said that 2 Trump campaign staff members on Monday had verbally abused and pushed aside a cemetery official who tried to stop them from filming and photographing in Section 60, the burial site for military personnel killed while fighting in Afghanistan and Iraq. Federal law prohibits campaign or election-related activities within Army National military cemeteries. A defense official speaking to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity to discuss a sensitive matter said the Trump campaign was warned about not taking photographs in Section 60 before their arrival and the altercation. The Trump campaign has claimed the Republican presidential nominees team was granted access to have a photographer, contested the allegation that a campaign staffer had pushed the cemetery official, and pushed back on any notion that the cemetery official had been unfairly targeted. This individual was the one who initiated physical contact and verbal harassment that was unwarranted and unnecessary, Trump spokesperson Stephen Chang said Thursday. As the Army has said, they consider this matter closed. President Trump was there to support the Gold Star families and honor the sacrifices their loved ones made. Where was Kamala Harris? Or Joe Biden? He's technically still the president, isn't he? Isn't he? I agree. Lycan and Cobb. Sounds like a moldy crew to me. Fair assessment. Fair assessment. The Trump campaign has also posted a message signed by relatives of 2 of the service members killed in the bombing that said the president and his team conducted themselves with nothing but the utmost respect and dignity for all our service members, especially our beloved children. Photos of the cemetery visit showed Trump standing by the graves and flashing a thumbs-up sign next to the relatives of Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover and Sergeant Nicole Gee. He also laid wreaths for Staff Sergeant Ryan Noss, whose family was not present. The family of a decorated Green Beret, whose grave appeared in the photos of Trump's visit, issued a statement expressing support for the families who lost loved ones in the Kabul airport bombing, but asking for understanding for the concerns from relatives of service members whose graves were near them. We hope those visiting this sacred site understand that these were real people who sacrificed for our freedom and that they are honored and respected accordingly, said the statement, which was sent by the sister of Silver Star recipient Master Sergeant Angie C. Marcasano, who died in 2020 on behalf of the family. The TikTok video shared by Trump shows several clips of his visit to the cemetery. As a guitar strums in the background, there is a voiceover of him saying, "We lost great, great people. What a horrible day it was. We didn't lose one person in 18 months. And then they took over. That disaster, the leaving of Afghanistan." The 18-month stretch without any combat deaths in Afghanistan included about 6 months of the Biden administration. Fred Wellman, a 22-year Army vet who served in Iraq who is supporting Harris for president said it was a mistake for the Army to put all of the weight on the Arlington National Cemetery staffer and let the issue go after the staffer decided not to press charges. Everyone who's a veteran who served since 9/11 is 1 to 2 degrees of separation from someone buried in Section 60, he said. The Army is the keeper of that place for us. A Pentagon investigation into the deadly attack concluded that the suicide bomber acted alone and that those killings were not preventable. Yeah, they were. What the fuck? You absolutely could have prevented them if you would have done it right. They investigated themselves and found that they had done nothing wrong, guys. That's what that is. Allison Jaslow, a former Army captain who leads the nonpartisan advocacy organization Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, applauded when Trump and Harris picked military veterans as their running mates. But she said aspiring elected officials should not campaign at Arlington National Cemetery. There are plenty of places appropriate for politics. Arlington's not one of them. Okay, be a stickler about it. If it would have been Harris, you would have been just fine. You would have been absolutely fine. You would have said shit. Just because it's Orange Man, that's why you got a problem with it. That's all it is. You're just bitter. You're just bitter. And you're crapping on these people's family members, the service members that passed or that were killed as a result of Harris and Biden's ineptitude. That's why this happened. That's why this happened. So we are at 2 hours and 24 minutes. I'm going to probably wrap this up here in the next 10 minutes or so, guys. Do need to get the room cleared so that the wife can get a little bit of sleep. Lady Dozer is probably passed out on the couch right now. She's not as much of a night owl as I am. I never developed an adult circadian rhythm, so it is what it is. It is what it is. We have covered 4 stories today. We first talked about the Kamala Harris interview, and I do apologize for not being able to find that. But honestly, y'all, I'm kind of glad. If I would have found the interview, I would have taken over an hour to do that because I would have had to stop and rant every couple of minutes. So we played a few clips from the Kamala Harris interview showing that, vacuous. That's the description that I would have for her responses. And Walz. Walz was also, there was no substance. Nothing to it. They skirted around the questions, didn't answer the questions, or if they answered the questions, it was with nonsense word salad, as is the case with Kamala. We then moved to the discussion of the globalist agenda, ever present with the UN, with Mug Club's undercover reporting, where they had the stooge from the UN. He was something with legal treaties or something like that. Him just candidly admitting that the UN is terrified of another Trump administration because they want their power. They don't want nationalist perspectives, guys. They don't want that. It's not good for them. Oh, Yanni Fangs. He says, I'm on the East Coast, my friends. Calling it a night. Love, persevere, your freedom, preserve your freedom, or lose your life protecting that of your brother. Well, hopefully it doesn't ever come to that, Yanni Fangs. But thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being a subscriber to this channel. All the support from anybody who can offer it, I sincerely appreciate. So thank you very much for supporting this channel. To all those that do, whether it be Rumble Rants, Super Chats on YouTube, if you want to do that on YouTube, although YouTube takes a cut of that, Rumble Rants don't take as much. So if you feel the inclination to subscribe to the channel or send a Rumble Rant, any support is not necessary. It's not necessary that you do so, but it's always appreciated. Something very simple, a way to support and grow this channel, share the link out. If you're on X, if you want to do it on Facebook, if you want to do it on True Social, Gab. I'm on all these platforms as well. I don't mess with Facebook really, except for personal stuff. So, if you want to share out the stream so that more eyes get on it, comment in the comment section, participate in the chat, like the stream. All these things do assist in reach, so it is very much appreciated. We went from talking about the undercover work from Mug Club to discussing the gangs in Colorado, the TRDA, Tren de Aragua, just going around and taking over apartment complexes because that's where we're at in this country. In some areas of this country, Aurora, Colorado, apparently, we have a third world vibe going on. It's not a good vibe. Not a vibe that I want. Oh, unsettling to say the least. Unsettling to say the least. We went from talking about the gangs in Colorado to talking about the Arlington National Cemetery kerfuffle, the drama, the non-issue, the non-controversy, but They're going to make it a controversy because that's what they want, because Orange Man bad. He could save a child from a burning building, and they would complain about how specifically he picked the child up, how he broke through a door recklessly to save the child, the damage that he imparted on the building. See you, Tim Pool's Gay Music. Thank you for hanging out. See you on the flip side, bud. Probably, not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna be up for another couple hours, so I'll probably be in other chats. So I might see you guys in some other chats. Might. Oh, that reminds me, I'm actually gonna be able to. I will remember to raid somebody. I might raid Jess, Moxie something. She's got a show going on with Epic Mike. They're probably talking about some cultural stuff over there. So I did see her earlier, so I might try to do a Rumble raid over to her channel here in a little bit. But first, we're going to do a couple little happy stories, or there's one little happy one and the one that I just found interesting, science related. So let's do the science related one first. Just a brief little blurb here from Ashton Forbes. If I can, there it is. Really cool kind of thought, talking about empty, the space that we think is empty, right? Maybe not. It might not be as empty as we think. And he's been doing a really good job talking about MH370, talking about possible zero-point energy and wormhole manipulation. A little bit esoteric, but fascinating nonetheless. So here's a little clip that he shared talking about the Aharonov bomb effect indicates that the universe is a construct. Maybe the vacuum of space is not as empty as we think. So let me share my screen here real quick. Just a brief little science-y thing here. I'm a bit of a nerd at times, so bear with me here. If you don't like this, well, I thought it was cool, so I want to talk about it for a second. We still don't know where MH370 is, by the way. That's been like 10 years. No bits of the plane have showed up. Just saying. This isn't about this specifically, but all right, let me open this up. If it's too loud, please let me know.
Function describes the quantum state of a particle, including its position, momentum, and, as Aharonov and Bohm revealed, its phase. When a charged particle like an electron moves through a magnetic field, its wave function acquires a phase shift, a change that doesn't depend on the strength of the magnetic field along its path, but rather on the potential it encloses. The classic experiment demonstrating the Aharonov-Bohm effect involves a beam of electrons split into two paths that encircle a region containing a magnetic field, but not passing through it directly. As the two paths recombine, the phase shift caused by the magnetic potential, even though the electrons never encounter the magnetic field directly, leads to an interference pattern. This pattern, observable and measurable, conclusively demonstrates the effect of the magnetic potential on the electrons. This revelation was profound and
really cool thing about electrons, if you guys don't know, they kind of, when they observe electrons, it's almost like they're there for a second and then they blip out of existence. We don't know where they go, but they're gone for like very, very, very tiny amount of time, like almost infinitely small amount of time. They're gone. And then they just pop right back, and then they're gone, and then they pop right back. I have no idea what that means, but it's interesting, and it makes me think about other universes. Just a random thought there.
And controversial, for it suggested that the vacuum of space, previously thought to be empty and inert, could possess a rich structure influenced by potentials. It challenged the notion that physical effects require direct contact with a field, proposing instead that the topology of space itself, shaped by these potentials, could affect physical phenomena.
So yeah, that was just an interesting little clip there, talking about how space might not necessarily be as empty as we think. In his interview, in Ashton Forbes' interview with Viva recently, he was discussing essentially this and talking about how the vacuum of space, there's still inertia in space. So what exactly contributes to that? I mean, I was talking with my brother about it last night, and you got to think there's the, microdust and all that, all the little particles and stuff in space. There's photons, which are both wave and particle at the same time. So, and we pretend like we know anything about it. Honestly, we really don't. We barely know anything about our planet as far as like the ocean is concerned, and like the different biomes and the inside of the planet. we know very little about our own planet. So to act like we have expertise on the specifics of how space works and negative energy or antimatter, as they call it, I don't know. Just a cool little thing to think about. You know, we get caught up in the politics and the stuff, the serious stuff of the day. It's just a little palate cleanser here to just maybe get your brain thinking a little bit. Maybe when you're chilling in the evening, something to think about and ponder when you're outside looking up at the sky. Cool little thought. Cool little thought. By the way, I actually saw some UFOs the other day. And I say this because it's unidentified. It was flying and it happened to be an object. Classic 3 dim lights, you know, one at the top, you know, triangle, triangle. You know, the points of 3 points to make a triangle in the sky. And it was over the tree line. And this was after, by the way, I had a shooting star, just your typical flash in the sky. And then I saw a shooting star that I actually saw the body of the, you know, rock skim the atmosphere, leave a plume of white smoke, and then skedaddle back out, I suppose. It didn't look like it kept going down. It looked like it did a little like a rock skipping across our atmosphere. And so that was awesome. I was on the phone with my brother when this happened. And then right after that, I look over at the tree line and I see these 3 faint lights kind of pulsating. And I watched it for probably 30 minutes to an hour. It was just kind of rotating and then just kind of hovering there. Probably just drones. Not sure who has 3 drones flying in triangle formation out here in rural Missouri, but that's what I think they probably were. I don't know though. So technically, it's a little bit of a UFO experience after seeing some celestial events in the sky. So, all right. So on from being a nerd to back to some political stuff. Here's a white pill. David Harris posted. Come on, mouse, do your job. I think I need to replace the batteries in my mouse and keyboard. We've got a post here from David Harris that, in my opinion, it's a minute and a half. Oh, okay. So let's share this really quick. Here's a little bit of a white pill. It's id poll. It is, admittedly, and I don't necessarily like id poll, but I do want to point out whenever there's a shift. And it looks like we have a nice little shift here with Black women. So,
my name is Silla.
I'm Karen Watson. I'm Yolanda Johnson from Georgia.
This is BB Diamond from New York City.
I'm Dana Galen, and I'm from Tampa, Florida.
I live in Hagerstown, Maryland.
Out here in Maricopa County.
Kalamazoo County, Michigan.
I am a proud African immigrant living in Florida.
I'm from the great state of New Jersey.
I'm Angelina from Philly, and this November, I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not voting for Kamala Harris.
I'm not voting for Kamala Harris.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I am not with her.
I'm not with her.
I am not with Kamala Harris.
I'm not with Kamala.
I am not for Kamala. I am for Donald Trump.
I am not with Kamala.
I am not with her because she is not with me.
I support President Trump and the economic policies our country experienced under his leadership as our 45th president.
President Trump will support our law enforcement agencies and fund them appropriately.
Donald Trump made me proud to be an American.
I'm with Donald J. Trump.
We need a leader who can make America great again.
Trump puts Americans first, and he always will.
We need Donald Trump.
I and millions of other Black Americans will cast my vote for Donald J. Trump.
I will proudly cast my vote for Donald J. Trump as our next president.
Let's make America great again.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of a shift there. Yes, it was id poll. It was definitely id poll, but it's a nice shift. It's a nice possible shift in a demographic that hasn't had a shift towards or shift away from the Democrat plantation in a long time. So it might be id poll, but it sure is a positive shift in my opinion. So that's a little bit of a white pill. We had our nerd stuff and then we had our little bit more happy politics, I guess, I suppose. But all right. Well, and actually I've only got 15 people watching, so I feel kind of bad about not raiding earlier. I should have done a raid earlier. when I had about 45 people watching. But let me pull up Rumble, and I'm going to raid raid somebody. Let's see if I can find that Jess. Let me see. Oh, darn it. I have to look down here. They might not be on anymore. There it is, Moxie Dame. She's got 4 people watching right now. I think she's still going. Oh. What was that? Let me see. Looks like they're still going, I think. So she's got 55 followers. Let me do this really quick. Copy. And let me try to get this raid done. I'm going to have to pull up my content really quick to do it. Bear with me. I appreciate you guys hanging out. So I'm going to send you guys over to Moxie Dame, MoxieDame over on Rumble. And we're going to raid. Hopefully I can make this work. Come on. And I did realize, so I do raid, and then I think you got to do it twice. Wait, did it work? Let me look here. Oh, one more time. Try it again here. Does it look like it worked? Trying to make it work here. Someone said you had to do it twice. Let me try one more time. Well, regardless, I tried to do a raid. I don't think it worked though. Why you got to be that way, Rumble? Man, just trying to check somebody else's content out here. I'm doing that right? Typing that in correctly. Raid / Let me look. It's frustrating. Oh, darn. I had the raid. It's / then raid. We'll try that. Yes, success. Yes, confirm. Aha. All right, well, 21 people hopefully going over to Moxie Dame. And raid starting, and there we go. All right, well, guys, go over and check out Moxie Dame. She's got Epic Mycon. I think they're at about 2 hours. So I didn't go to 3 hours this time. I kept my word there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely appreciate everybody who contributes to the channel in whatever way you wish to do so, whether it be participating in the live chat, commenting, sharing, liking, following the channel, subscribing, sending Rumble rants, whatever you want to do, support this channel and support an America First movement. I sincerely appreciate you. So until next time, you guys have yourselves a great rest of the evening. Y'all have a good one.